Sure, but I mean, it's also debates. Like debates are pretty temporary, generally.
This was catastrophically bad. Steven, come on.
Okay.
This was not a normal bad debate. This was...
Sure, I understand what you're saying. I mean, like, you can laugh, but, like, you voters, no offense, you guys are fucking retarded. Like, you guys forget things in 3 days. There were multiple moments in the last set of debates that were crazy, horrible, bad, and be like, oh my god, this is it. And then you actually see them just, like, trail off over time. People, like, don't even remember, for instance, like, Kamala Harris had, like, a kill shot moment against Biden on stage when she brought up the fact that he opposed busing, and that was literally how she got to fucking school. And everybody's like, oh my god, Kamala Harris got a huge bump in the polls after that. And Biden, like, tanked for a bit, and then after, like, 2 weeks, like, everybody's like, oh, what? I don't even remember, right? All of the, like, the state of U.S. politics right now is insanely transitory. People forget shit in like 5 fucking days. Now, every time something new happens, it's like the end of the fucking world. But like people like forget it, they move on to the next fucking thing. Maybe this is the thing that stays more. Maybe Biden stays the fuck up. It's possible. But like, yeah, the recentism of like everything that happens is like permanently gonna remember. Blah blah blah. I just don't really think the American voter works that way. But hey, who knows? Maybe this will be the one time they do. It's possible.
I do fully agree with you. I think, yeah, as one of those people, regular people. By the way, it's not just now. People have always been stupid. Not like this is just a recent thing. This seems worse than normal. I don't know how the normal average American will take it. It feels like they're actually taking it worse than normal. When you have like MSNBC being like, this was really bad, I feel like now.
Yeah, but MSNBC and CNN pundits aren't normal people, right? These are political commentators. Like none of these are. They might be normal compared to like people on Twitter, but
for Democrats, those are normies. Democrat normies.
Nobody that works is it. Nobody that works in politics is a normie.
No, but you know, just a normal family. People in. Just people, Americans. Normal Americans are watching. If you're a Democrat, you're watching debates through MSNBC or CNN. Like if you're at home.
Yeah, they watch it. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, we'll see like in a week or two. I don't know. I think that it's always hard to judge in the middle of a particular thing, like how it's going to impact people later, because people will say stuff like, oh, this is the most pressing issue. This is the craziest thing. It's inflation. Now it's the border. Now it's Texas fighting the government. Now it's abortion. Now it's like, so it's who knows. Right now, from what I've seen of people in talking to voters, when we did door knocking in, I don't fucking even remember which fucking state it was, and then seeing like polls, like abortion is a thing that seems to be really stuck in people's minds, and that survived for quite a while. And then the economy, especially things related to inflation, is a thing that's stuck in people's mind. I don't know if there's like, is there like polling right now to show like the issues that people are saying they've cared about the most throughout the whole election? Those are the two things that I've seen that have been like stuck in people's minds a lot. But yeah. But who knows?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you thought he should focus on. And those two, abortion seems obvious. It is it's probably the #1 issue in terms of what can rally the general Democratic left people in America, and has a huge overlap with just normal people that don't give a shit about politics or even are, conservative. It seems to be pretty easily. Inflation, I don't, even if it is not his fault, if he's able to clearly articulate that and convince voters, I don't even know. Doesn't seem like he's been too successful.
Yeah, maybe not. I think that Biden's strategy in debates just needs to be like making sure he doesn't look like he's senile, and then just like basically, I think like getting like quips on Trump. I think that's all people care about right now. I don't know why he's trying to.
Best lines. Also,
did he?
He did. Did he not?
What were good Trump lines?
Not able to understand what Biden was saying.
What were good Trump lines? I know I can think of one that was pretty funny.
That's the one that.
You can't think of a single one, but you have that impression? Do you see the issue I have now with the average voter?
I gotta admit, I really could not focus watching the actual debate last night. It was really just me watching content and people react to what was happening on the debate because it was so kind of insane. Yes, so sure, I am one of those people.
But I think that is, I think that's like part of our issue for politics. Is that like you're not even looking at what's in front of you. You're looking left and right to see how you should respond to it, right? So like I'm not even sure now like how many people like this debate, for instance. I think this debate had around 45 million viewers. I think the last one on the last election was like 79 million. Like so, almost half as many people even tuned into this one in terms of who would care to watch it. But yeah. I mean, it was a bad performance. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it was a good performance. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know how much these particular things stick out in somebody's mind.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely one of the dumb normal people. I don't even remember jack shit, but what they were saying, either of them, last night.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well.
I'm not even sure if it matters at this point. I gotta say, all the main issues that we're talking about, I think people are just gonna vote along party lines.
Yeah, kind of. But remember, it doesn't matter that much. Like voting along party lines, what matters is how much of your base can you turn out for the election. Like that's always like the big goal.
I don't think people care about Trump's convictions and all that shit. I think it'll actually probably help him. He'd probably use that as they get closer to motivate his audience.
I definitely don't think they help. If Trump would have been exonerated, if he wouldn't have been convicted, I think that would have been a way bigger help for him. I don't think they help him at all. I think they maybe for his.
The average Republican really care? Do they really, really care?
You're not. It's not about the average Republican. Remember, the goal isn't to turn off 50% of a voter base. The goal is just to turn off like 1 or 2%. That's enough to like basically secure the election in almost every state, right? You don't have to. You don't have to make it so like 20% of the people hate you. You just like I think like 3 or 4% is enough to make you like unelectable, like in every single state almost. Yeah, it just depends on. It just depends on how much of your base you can turn out, basically.
I'm just so skeptical. I'm pretty concerned. Pretty concerned. I'm really already in the, it's fine. I get it. I'm already too. I get it.
Wait, get what?
It's Trump. It's an eventuality. Trump's gonna win. It's not even gonna be that close in the end. People shouldn't even be upset. People should have like an understanding now. We're just
but wasn't this exactly what people were saying about the last election? And wasn't this exactly what people were saying in 2022?
Biden was doing way better. Biden was doing way better. I think Biden winning was not a surprise. You're
rewriting history. I don't know. You're rewriting. You're literally rewriting history.
I had a lot of confidence.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I bet you didn't. I bet you couldn't find me a single tweet, a single DM. No shot. That you're like, oh yeah, I'm sure Biden has this 100%. No shot.
Steven, you just have to trust me, okay? You know why I'm talking to you, and you just gotta trust me. I was sitting on my neighbor's couch, and my neighbor's a huge Trump fan, and here, unlike in Manhattan, that's not normal, so my neighbors were like...
Bro, there were literally, like, half the conservative population, like, went to sleep because they were so sure that Trump had won. When people woke up that day, it was, like, the most traumatized... Yeah, of course. There were so many people that went to sleep, oh, fuck, he got it, and they went to sleep, and they woke up and was like, wait, what the fuck? Oh, how did it all change overnight? Oh! Like, yeah, what do you mean? It was a huge deal. Like, people felt incredibly upset. I don't think that the average person, that was a foregone conclusion that Biden was going to win the election. Absolutely.
No, but I think he had a big advantage. I think he had an advantage. I always felt pretty confident going into that night. I was never like, not nearly how I feel now. Man, come on, it's nowhere close. Trump feels way further ahead than he ever had last time.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
We will see. How was Israel?
It was fun, initially I didn't really want to go, but then I remembered I need to define every single action in my life as the opposition to Hassan, and Hassan really wouldn't want me to go, so I was like, so I should go, because that's how I live my life, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I had to go visit it and, do some on-the-ground reading and research to find my Mossad supporters and get my direct alumni payout, and, yeah.
Yup. Was it good?
What, going?
No, the payout. It was a nice payout. It was worth it. Worth it for the trip.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, for sure.
Did you feel like now coming back, and I'm sure you didn't really have like a plan, you just want to go and talk to people and stuff. Do you feel any different than you did before on issues more strongly? Did you change your mind on stuff?
No, I think it just gave me more perspective on stuff that, yeah, I mean, like the factual stuff, I already have a pretty good command of most of that. It's not like I learned a bunch of new facts or whatever. It just kind of like fleshed out and deepened my understanding of, I guess, kind of like the lived experiences of both sides. Yeah.
Now, with the lived experiences, that didn't sway your mind
no,
one
like
way or the other in terms of, I don't know, how you feel about the overall conflict and the way that you talk about it?
No, I don't think so. I think it would be pretty scary if you were missing like so much of a thing that just like going to a place would completely 180 your opinion on it. I think that would probably show it.
No, not 180, but you don't have to turn all the way around. You can just make slight deviations based on, yeah, it could. Okay. I mean, you weren't there for that long. I mean, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of my understanding before going was like decently good. I feel like it deepened my understanding on the factual level. I feel like it just kind of like furthered most of the opinions that I already had. But like on an empathetic level, like seeing how people live and seeing things on the ground can give you like a deeper appreciation for the different feelings and the narratives on both sides. So,
You feel like you're gonna go back?
I don't know. I like trying to figure out where I want to
You
go.
have a big fan base there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've got fan bases everywhere. I'm fucking international.
Yeah, but you got my people over there.
Your people? Aren't your people New Yorkers? When was the last time you went to Israel?
Never.
We'll call you diasporites.
Never have.
Okay, you're not. Those aren't your people. All right, those are the loyal, faithful ones building on the Zionist project. You're a class traitor
They
living in New
always
York.
did.
Okay.
They always tried to get me to go over. I had a lot of friends that were friends with the Hasids and always tried to get me to go to Israel. Never did happen. You know, I have many Jew friends that like your content.
That's good.
I'm the, you know, the not very involved, but still rather anti-Israel New York Jew. And my friends are the more based, also New York Jews, but have been to Israel a bunch of times and that know Hebrew really well and participate in Judaism. I'm the, you know, I'm the fuck up, okay? I was the only one in my family because all of my mother's brothers technically married non-Jewish women, but they all converted. But if you want to go back through, like, who's actually your Jew, whatever, your mom has to be the Jew. You need both parents, but especially your mother. But all of my cousins all had bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. And they went to temple all the time and had to learn Hebrew. I was the rebel and refused to learn Hebrew and refused to have a bar mitzvah. So I'm the only kid in the entire family not to have a bar mitzvah. But technically, I'm the only real Jew in the family because both my parents are from Jewish lineage.
Wow.
So I'm the black sheep.
Crazy.
Anyway, but all my buddies, they like your content. You're doing good, and they say I'm stupid.
Well, you know, you gotta watch more informed content creators. You know.
I do watch your content. I could not watch your 4-hour debate with Noam and the other guys. I couldn't do it.
Well,
I'm sure it was great.
it was amazing. You know.
I saw a lot more discussion about the debate than I did about the debate.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Most of the people that cover it are, pretty deranged. But what are you gonna do?
Do you feel like any of the debates that you're doing, especially around this topic, have that changed your mind? Has anything made you, like, you know, change course on certain issues within this larger context?
Not that much in terms of debates, because just the vast majority of people that have really strong opinions about this are wholly and completely uneducated about it. Like the vast majority.
Come on, you can't say that. Look, the people that you're talking
Wait.
to.
What do you mean I can't say that?
Most of their lives, because you're being too strong.
Give me a single example of how I'm wrong.
These people will spend the majority of their lives, some of them, working on like the singular issue and working in the field.
Name one of them. Who's one of them I've debated that's given an impressive performance about that? That's disagreed with me.
I'm not saying that. I don't know. They will fucking watch the goddamn thing.
Then how could you possibly have an opinion that would contradict mine here?
I just mean in terms of their history. It doesn't mean that they're correct, but
yeah,
it's not
that's
like
been the case.
they're not uninformed though. They're just came to a different conclusion.
No, I think a lot of them are uninformed or don't understand what they're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I can't dispute that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, it sure would be nice if any of these guys that were... There's a reason why all of the strongest...
Doesn't it downplay, though, how well your performance is? Wouldn't it be if they know what they're talking about and then you're still coming out looking good, that means you've done better than if they didn't know what they're talking about?
Yeah, that would be great if that was the case. But when I'm, like, arguing with a 40-year scholar, Norm Finkeldick, who doesn't know, like, how to define genocide, and says he's studied this for 4 decades, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's fucking horrible. That was one of the reasons why I said, like, going to Israel is kind of annoying, because it's like my understanding of an issue, the more I know about it, the more divergent it becomes from mainstream political discourse, because most of the people that talk about these things have very little to no understanding about it. Every major content creator that talks about this, the Hassans and all the lefty dipshits, are fucking retarded. They don't know anything about this issue, or anything about international law, or anything about the history of the people, or anything about, like any part of this conflict. Yeah, it's just all, like, talking points over and over again. But hey, listen, if you disagree with that,
I-
then show me one, or find one that is actually brave enough to have a conversation with. One was brave enough to do it 2 days ago. A PhD guy who's written a book called "Give Them an Argument," and he got absolutely eviscerated. It was embarrassing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, like people say, "Oh, I've studied this my whole life." What they really meant is they heard one argument that they found convincing, 20 years ago, and then they've just kind of like repeated it over and over again. They haven't deepened their understanding on it. Like it's embarrassing.
Is there anyone that you thought did a good job lately?
Lately, absolutely no.
No, nobody? Is there anyone you thought has done a good job, maybe since the beginning of...
Since the very beginning, there was one guy that I debated that seemed a little bit more good faith and learned in the mainstream, was probably like Mark Lamont Hill, although that was a debate where I was more gentle than not. I don't know if on more pushback it would completely and utterly collapse, but that was probably like one of the better ones that I had. But aside...
The BET guy? He's been the best one? I'm just looking up, like, who he is.
Yeah, he's had a couple of, like, news performances.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the conversations I've had with, like, random chatters that have shown up in my community have been infinitely better and more productive, and they seem to demonstrate a greater understanding than the Norm Finkelsteins and the Muin Rabbanis and the random, like, pro-poly internet dipshits. It's, like, not even close.
For some reason, this doesn't surprise me.
Why? You just said that you were shocked that people that could be studying this conflict for decades could have no information or knowledge about it. Shouldn't that shock you?
Well, it seems more like... I don't like to discredit people's experiences and, like, knowledge within a certain field. I mean, look, I worked most of my life in, like, esports and gaming, and I can easily, especially in my world, like, debate and talk a bunch of people that I feel could definitely not know what the fuck they're talking about. But especially for people that I've known for a long time, I know they've also been in it for decades or whatever. I'm trying really hard not to downplay their, knowledge about stuff. But I mean, I can understand feeling people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it being really frustrating to then listen to people not know what the fuck they're talking about, talk a lot, and how that's super annoying. So I hear where you're coming from. I actually don't know how the fuck you do this. I would hate
true, but
talking
like, weren't you just blazing Hassan, saying that Hassan has been pretty correct on most things, and that I'm like an unhinged person? How can you think that I'm unhinged online? How can you think that I'm unhinged online when Hassan was literally quote tweeting a sitting senator with a picture of a homemade firearm because he didn't like what the person was saying?
Okay, I didn't want to. Just so you know, look, I probably shouldn't have started the conversation in general, but I was trying to be fun and nice about it and lighthearted, okay? And then he started to get pointed at you, and I wasn't there to just wasn't trying to fucking talk to him. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said anything to begin with.
Okay. Well, just make me feel like you're playing both sides, and then now glaze me when I say that Hassan is one of the stupidest motherfuckers. Of course you were. You're good with him. That I was a crazy unhinged person. That he'd never been unhinged at all.
Yes, what I was gonna go do, and I said I was gonna watch the stream. A bunch of who he was like, yeah, I'm the best commentator. I was like, oh well, I'm also gonna probably be watching Thou Who Should Not Be Named.
I know we will listen. I know we watched it. We just watched on stream like 4 or 5 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah.
So I wasn't. So me bringing that up probably shouldn't have done it because obviously I knew where he would go, but I wasn't trying to fight with him about you. So I just kind of agreed. Maybe that is wrong of me, and I am sorry for not.
That's good enough. I think you've said enough so that if he watches back this clip, now he's gonna mold like crazy and DM you or.
He shouldn't. As I was saying, I was like, look, you two should try to make up. And I was using the example of Richard Lewis, how I've been beefing with him longer than like you or you and Hassan have been beefing. I almost kind of made up with Keemstar this morning, okay? If me and Keemstar could at least have a truce, then you two fuckers can figure this out. That's all I was trying to explain to him, and I was trying to be like...
You understand that Hassan is basically like implying I'm like a pedophile, right? How the fuck could I make up? Like, this is a guy that visits brothels in fucking Germany is calling me a pedophile. Like, what? No, I don't
wasn't
think that's
look,
ever happening. Okay.
I wasn't expecting him to go as strong as he was when I was talking about it. Okay.
Yeah,
I did
well,
not,
he's like, he hates me. He spent like the last like 3 months obsessively talking about my kid, about my divorce, about my fucking personal life, about like anything to avoid actually countering an argument that I said. He's incapable of doing that. Yeah, he's fucking
going
unhinged.
after him for forever too. It's not
Hold
like
on, no, wait. I've been going after him because his arguments are dog shit and he's a horrible political commentator. It's not just like digging in on like random shit about his personal life all the time. There's like 20-minute compilations of him just like calling me divorcelli and talking about how I'm a Nazi now. Most of the vast majority of my coverage of him is like, why is he saying this? This is fucking retarded. I don't think he's done any research here. Like, this is completely fucking incorrect. That's like the coverage is like markedly different.
Okay, I can understand that. That's not good. That's not good. I also hate it when people go after me personally, and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I fully understand that. Not great. No. Bad. Okay?
Listen, it's not good. I just need to get that out of my system.
No,
So there's enough
no,
clip for him to watch now of you not standing up to me, and now he's gonna mold like crazy over this. So that's good.
I didn't.
All right?
It's fine. Both of you can think I'm an asshole, and both of your communities also. Hassan's community was talking a ton of shit to me once I mentioned you, and I'm sure all of your.
Yeah, you understand also when he calls my community insane. You understand that Hassan lost like the largest podcast that he was a part of, the Ethan one. He lost that connection because of how unhinged his audience was and how much he was driving his audience to hate Ethan. Right?
To Ethan, yeah. I thought not good.
Okay,
not
so
great.
it's interesting that he claimed that like, yeah, the DGG audience is insane. That's the thing that he says over and over and over again. But Hassan's audience actually lost him, like the largest fucking podcast that he had been a part of, like completely, like not even close to comparison. To comparing the two things, but you know,
all of your guys' communities are just very passionate. Okay.
Oh, so it's all the same. Okay.
Well, you all have very strong communities. It's not like Hassan might have a bigger potentially streaming platform, but you have a bigger subreddit.
Yeah, we do, but the difference is on those lefty communities, the types of attacks that they greenlight are way more atrocious than what I'm allowed on mine. Like if we were greenlighting anywhere near the level of insane unhinged, like Hassan was just on a Wired interview promoting other streamers that made death threats and threats of physical violence against me for TwitchCon. Things like, oh yeah, if Destiny shows up, it's on site, or if Destiny's, this is why we need to kill all slave owner families. And Hassan's like, yeah, these are great people. Like, whereas on my side, if one person DMs Ludwig, who has 0 followers and 0 followed on his account, all of a sudden that's like an evidence of Destiny's community being unhinged and like driven to making threats and blah blah. Like it's the comparison isn't even remotely the same.
Destiny's more accepted by Jews than Newsflasher. You know, probably. You're not wrong, Chad.
True. Anyway.
You're not wrong. Oh, and so what? He has a bigger platform. He definitely has. I mean, he definitely made a lot of enemies when it comes to like liberal media, maybe liberal mainstream media, and he's courted liberal media pretty well.
No, he has not. Absolutely not. He's courted like progressive media well. I don't know if he's liked at all in liberal media. I don't know if liberal media has good feelings about like progressives right now at all. I'm not sure about that. Hassan is burned. Hassan is one of the least connected people in terms of media for his size. His appearances on other shows are abysmal. Like if I cover his appearance on another podcast, my clip will get more views than his entire appearance. He's like burned almost every like bridge that he has of any of these things. That's why he doesn't make very many appearances on other shows. He's like almost completely insulated in his own network now. The guy can't handle any like criticism or negative feedback or challenging from any other person ever. Like that's just the reality. You know, just want to correct the record there. It's an important thing.
Neither of you see a reconciliation.
No, he's an actual like everything that he accuses me of doing, he actually does. He's a horrible, like disgusting human being, and not because of some imagined like divorced forever like weird shit reasons. I think the fact that he pushes stuff with very little understanding of what he's saying and seems to be signing off on certain figures that are like talking about like violent activities. Like when he brought the Houthi person on his stream, like this is a guy who is, the Houthi guy is celebrating, okay, the launching missiles at merchant ships in the ocean. Hassan is bringing that person on to spread his message, and now that kid is like tweeting things that more people are seeing as a result of the fact that he was on Hassan's stream. Do you see it? That was a frame further function, guys. A frame function further. Okay, yeah. Like Hassan has done these types of things like over and over and over and over again. where he's doing things that are in like the direct interest, like contrary to the United States. He'll always side with the U.S. enemy. He'll always give like more talking time and airing those points. He'll always be super critical of the United States, and then he drives his audience to, either not vote for anybody in the U.S. interest, or to feel like discouraged by the current political system, or to engage in like online harassment or hate campaigns against people that they don't feel are pure enough for them. And now you have like massive waves of progressives like shitting on AOC or holding demonstrations against, Democratic candidates or hating Bernie Sanders because they're not like radical enough for them. That's wild, I think.
Yeah, Jamal Bowman lost here. Like, that was not surprising. Once I saw that every fucking leftist streamer or whatever was coming to New York, I was like, all right, it's over.
Sure, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Because a lot of them are completely insufferable.
Did Hassan even show up for that, to help anything for that? Why doesn't he notice how he does nothing also with his platform? If he's not getting paid, like 6 figures for it, he won't go and do anything? Kind of crazy, huh?
A lot of people didn't show up. I actually don't know. It was a good turnout, I think. Huh. I saw a picture of like 12 people, and your boy was there.
Well, who's my boy?
Your boy Vosh.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I know your buddy. I'm not actually up to date on this parasocial part of the lore. Don't you think
it's kind of weird that like arguably the largest lefty streamer in the United States or the world like doesn't do anything to activate audiences for political ends? Isn't that kind of strange?
But he was there. He did help in losing.
What was his participation in that event?
Actually, I have no idea. All I did was saw a picture of a bunch of people. Then I saw a couple of streams. I didn't see him do any of the content. It's possible he didn't actually do anything.
Oh no, I'm talking about Hassan, not Vosh right now. I'm talking about Hassan.
No. He was not there, and I have no idea. I don't really remember much help he gave in New York.
I know what he does, but I'm sure he's making a lot of money streaming somewhere. So. But anyway.
You do think he would have been able to influence anyway? It really just felt like, as everything you were saying, yeah, leftists are insufferable in a lot of ways, and they take, they get a lot of flack, deservedly so, not just online, but in a lot of these races, they are losing because they're
Wait, you're asking me, do I think that anybody online can influence people's opinions?
Like, with Hassan doing content for Bowman's election, would he been able to get people over the line?
Just Hassan alone? Maybe not, but like if all the progressives were to activate in more meaningful ways, that wasn't just them constantly shitting on their own party, like what Hassan does, like what Brianna Joy Gray does, like what every single progressive commentary person online does, like Emma Blake, like all these people, yeah, I think it probably would be at least a little bit different, yeah. But I mean, if you want to go with the argument that like, well, no, nothing online matters anyway, well then why the fuck do these guys get so mad if alt-right content creators get big, or if people platform Nazis? Is it that the only people who can convince anybody of their arguments online are far-right people, but the progressives can't? Like, how does that make sense in both worlds? Like, either influences online are so bad that we need to be proactive in banning people because the thought is infectious, or none of it fucking matters at all anyway, in which case who the fuck cares if somebody says the N-word or somebody like has some Nazi propaganda? Like, it doesn't matter anyway, right? Like, you can't have it both ways. Not you personally, but these guys. Like, you have to pick. Either online shit is influential, and if you're fucking rich, you should try to influence it, or none of it fucking matters, in which case why like be so aggressive about banning people for hate speech or shit you disagree with?
Yeah, he should have taken a stronger stance, especially in that case with it being high profile. There definitely should have been more. But I also feel like, as you say, it is somewhere in the middle. It definitely matters what you do online. Content has an effect, as we obviously know, on people and how they make decisions, and especially younger people who are becoming of age who can vote. Content easily can affect and shape their worldview. And then also, a lot of the time, nothing on the internet matters, especially things like Twitter, really in comparison to the real world, most of the time has no actual effect on stuff. So it's somewhere in the middle.
Everything is. Like, one talk show won't change the country, one politician won't change the country, one stream won't change, but it's a collective action for everybody. But yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully I could be matchmaker eventually. I'm gonna still maybe not approach this for a while, but I'm gonna try. Okay. I think you two were great together. I really enjoyed that arc, parasocially from afar. I thought you two, it was nice.
Yeah, well,
I enjoyed that content.
We'll see what happens, all right? Okay. What did we actually come here to talk about? Go for it.
Did you read my piece?
No, I haven't had
at all?
time to do anything. Did you just send? Was this today that you sent this to me, or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Okay, no, because I streamed late last night because I had to argue with XQC over
Oh, did you? About what?
question you don't want to know. Okay, I'm seeing it.
What? No, for real. What? What are you talking about?
Over how big of a deal it is if Doc was talking to a 17-year-old or not, basically.
Oh. And what is your opinion?
You know what? We don't have to relitigate all this shit. What do you want to tell us about this? Do I need to? Do you want me to read it on the screen? Do you want to go over it right now? What do you want?
No. You don't have to. I mean, the new piece of information which I have reported are that I have a direct source with knowledge of the Whispers themselves, who was instrumental into the very small circle with first-hand knowledge of the case and impactful within it. And that ex-Twitch employee, has told me that Doc was aware that the minor was a minor, was made aware that he was a minor during the conversations, and the conversations continued to be and even got more explicit sexually after that was acknowledged.
Do you know the age of the person?
Was not used in the recording.
Are they 17?
I do not have comment.
They were 9 years old.
Do you now? Okay, no. Without hearing your conversation, do you think that? Now, obviously, if there was a huge discrepancy between, let's say, a minor that was 17 and a minor that was 11 or 12, or like 13 or something, that feels to me like something that is more significant to point out. And I guess it's not necessarily the exact ages, but I felt if the additional information wasn't entirely necessary other than it is explicitly underage.
Okay.
Do you feel differently?
I don't actually know what the fuck you just said. It sounds like you're saying that if they were 17, 16, that's a possibility, but if they were 9 or 10, that probably would have come out.
It would be, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
What was your take with XQC? You can give me the short version.
It's such a. Do you really want to have this conversation?
Maybe not. Okay, a little bit. Yeah.
My take on all this fucking internet sexual bullshit or whatever is, for me to care that much, when you're talking about like a 17-year-old or whatever, I need to see the logs. Otherwise, I just don't give a fuck that much. You shouldn't be doing it. The doc, if he's fucking sexing or trying to meet up with some chick, I think it's bad. You shouldn't be doing it. But if it's like, if they're like, the 17-year-old's driving on the interacts, they're trying to like fuck him, he's like, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 we'll do it. I just don't care that much. You shouldn't be doing it, but it can't be fun.
Do you think that with the current knowledge and reporting that is out there, that the punishment was unwarranted?
It's without seeing the DMs, it's hard to say.
So if you are hypothetically at the age of 17 in this case.
Like I said, there are actions that the doc could have taken that I think would have warranted way more. So like, for instance, this is a big example of it. So like, let's say in one world, let's say like 100 girls are messaging the doc and he's like trying to fuck all of them or whatever. And one of them is like 17 and he's like, oh, we should meet up on 7. He's like, oh yeah, like let's do it. Then it's like, okay. Like cutting his contract, obviously, and probably banning him are probably things that, yeah, you think you should probably do this. But like, let's say instead, let's say the doc is like potentially going around channels, like finding underage people and then DMing them. And it's like, oh, I noticed that you're like, you know, like, oh, you're pretty young. Like, what are your parents think of this? And he's like hunting like young people, like trying to flip them into TwitchCon fuck partners. That's something that I would expect the actions by Twitch I would expect to be way more severe than that. Like I would expect there to be some publicizing of what happened. Otherwise, he needs to go to YouTube or another platform and actually like hunt people on those platforms. That would be like really bad, I think. Like imagine if he ends up like predatoring some fucking girl on YouTube who's 15 and fucks her. And then it leaks from Twitch that he was aggressively seeking minors on Twitch. Then I'm like, oh shit, well, why didn't they fucking say something? Now you basically just had some person getting raped. Like that's what I would say is.
Okay,
yeah.
well, in my reporting, and maybe I will want you to read it. A big part there's one more big piece of reporting which addresses what you just said, and there's a lot of the pieces to contextualize why Twitch was unable to say anything and why they do not say anything, and why something like the logs are never going to come out, nor should you want to see them.
But is there an answer that's good, or is it just like to protect the victim thing?
Well, they're the two main answers, and yeah, all that it needs to be focused on is that, quote unquote, it not only endangers the victim, which needs to be the priority, Destiny. It's not for.
Wait, how does it endanger the victim?
Any potential for the victim to be identified.
How could it possibly lead to the victim being identified? Like, did they include their address in like every single message to the doc? They're like, hey, what's up, doc? It's me, Samantha from 4227 Ames Street in Des Moines. Like,
I understand, but there have been people scouring the internet for 4 years for every potential person, and like there have been many women that have been harassed in this entire situation by people on the internet who thought that they were involved in the situation. Many women have had their lives fucked up from not just the situation, but even other interactions unrelated to this specific case with Doc. And there is something I was going to show you, later.
Okay, but now there's only one circumstance where I could see this making sense. When you say, if you show the logs, it could potentially be bad because it might implicate somebody. The only way that this argument makes sense is if the doc had a large number of victims. Because in my mind, the first thing I think of is like, okay, well, if you show the logs, Dr. District, he knows who he was talking to. They said they were a minor. Like, he's going to know if he gets unpartnered, no matter what, obviously. But if somebody's saying, well, we can't let him know who it was, oh, that means that he was, like, sexting with multiple minors, and he doesn't know which one was the one that returned him to Twitch. That's the only way that statement can make sense to me. Is that the implication I'm supposed to take from this?
No, all I'm talking about is this specific case involving a singular minor. And then Doc has unrelated, as far as I am aware.
Well, but then because Doc knows who the person was, right?
Yes, but the public doesn't. Nobody else does.
Yeah, but how is the public seeing a personal DM going to, like, clue them in? Like, do we have...
It is illegal to publicly show underage minor and their conversations.
There's no shot that's illegal. How? What?
Companies cannot divulge private information, especially in that case, to the public. And not only that.
Slasher, I don't think what you're saying is true about not being able to divulge it. But also the thing that doesn't make the most sense here is you're saying that
it is true. So it doesn't really.
What are you saying is true?
Wait, hold on. If two people are having text with each other, so like for instance, for that one girl that convinced that boy to kill himself, didn't we see all of their texts like published in the media? You're saying that was illegal, or?
I don't know what. I would have to look at how the text became public. Was it through one of the two parties that made the text public, or was it were the texts subpoenaed in the case, and that is why they became public? Those two things are very important here, but this is also the company overseeing two people's private messaging between each other.
So not only illegal, do you mean civilly or criminally?
No, illegal always means criminally. What do you mean? What do you mean? This is a company overseeing? How does that matter?
Tech companies can't show personal interactions and information publicly to begin with.
Well, wait, if they can't show it, probably as like part of their TOS or something, right? Or part of like the agreement that they've made with you. But I mean, like the FBI and people can subpoena companies, and people have posted emails that have been leaked before. Like it happens.
Yes, but that's still not from the company. You've never seen a tech company publish correspondence between two different people.
Sure, but the tech company doesn't have to. It could be an outlet, right? The company wouldn't, because why the fuck would the company ever publish anything about it? But like a journalist.
Yes,
could.
how could a media company get? Media company cannot.
How does a media company get information from a source? You're the journalist. You tell me. What do you mean? Of course, it happens all the time.
Media, as far as I know, I do not know any instances of media getting conversations between two people and printing a private conversation between any user, let alone conversation that involves a minor, which there is an extra layer of illegalness, absolutely, to that. But I would think in general, normal, that doesn't happen.
I mean, like, don't we literally have mainstream media people, like, publishing dick pics and personal information and private, like, look at the whole New York Post story, or sorry, go ahead.
Well, one person is publishing the information. Whoever either got the dick pic or sent it, or whoever is able to access the phone, or you have things like, hacking where people hack into other people's phones and then get,
Okay, so right now, so if I go and I screenshot my conversations with Nathan, and I put that conversation on screen, because my son is a minor, have I've just committed a crime?
No, because they're not sexually explicit in nature.
You don't know. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so he...
Does that make it different? Okay, I'm gonna go look for laws. I'm searching this up. Okay, let me get the worst search history ever for the FBI to look at my fucking computer.
As a report in the piece, when this happens, Doc was reported to NCMEC, which is NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Anytime that a situation happens where there is a trust and safety report within a tech company that involves a minor and it is confirmed to involve a minor, that is sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they work with law enforcement agencies all around the country to directly get themselves into
Are you
the
sure,
right...
like, because, like, I know, for instance, there's differences when you talk about, like, pictures and explicit, like, messages. Like, I think that if the age of consent is, like, 16 in the state, like, two 16-year-olds can, like, have sexually explicit messages with each other. But if they were to send pictures, that would become, like, a federal crime. But the messaging is okay in terms of the law there. So I don't know why publishing the messaging would be, like, illegal or against the rules. Also, it would depend on what also is meant by, like, sexually explicit material. Like, for instance, let's say that there's a 17-year-old and she's got logged to the doctor and says, oh, we should meet at TwitchCon and go fuck. Does that count as, like, a sexually explicit message from the minor?
That is part, like, the two differences are CSEA and CSAM. CSAM is the material. CSEA, which is this case, is still assault. But both are, whenever either happens, all of those cases are sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. CSAM, having the media, whether it's pictures or videos or whatever, that is more extreme. Those cases are taken even more seriously with larger potential for a criminal action. CSEA, which is this case, the criminality portion is ambiguous. That part is true. Like, there's been no evidence of something criminal being applied in this case. However, as I wrote in the piece, do not have even knowledge of what the agreement exactly was and who or what is involved inside of the agreement. So I am unaware, like, if it goes to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they are directly involved with law enforcement around the country to then investigate, okay? But then afterwards of what has potentially happened, there is no information. I do not have information after that. However, any case, even with the CSEA, not just CSAM, has to be reported to NCMEC automatically. This goes for all tech companies.
Oh, I want to fight, but I don't have a particular I what you're saying. So maybe,
And
maybe.
look, you wouldn't, even in general, it should be that you don't want to see conversations for minors to try to like have to prove to you or anyone on the internet about how contextually this conversation is okay or not as bad or whatever. It shouldn't be completely necessary. I actually think from doing the report, like I did a report too, for example, that they were getting, because everything was happening early June in terms of the amount of sexual misconduct reports that were coming in. It was that Destiny 2 streamer, and then that snowballed into a ton of people. And then Twitch made a report, a tweet rather, asking for people to send in tips, and that they would work with law enforcement. It shouldn't be a surprise that 4 days later, like no one was able to put this together, which is so frustrating, at least a lot of people, that Doc got banned 4 days after that tweet was made, in the middle of where over 70 people had sexual misconduct allegations put towards them, that those two things should be related. But I mean,
Sure, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that, like, if like, let's say that the DMs were like some hardcore predator shit. Like, let's say that it comes out that he had like, let's say for instance, tomorrow's story comes out that the doc actually fucked, 6 different 15-year-olds at the last UConn or Minecon or whatever the fuck, I don't know, some convention recently, right? And then let's say that as a part of that court case, or let's say that as a part of somebody leaking the media, you find out that the reason why the doc got departnered from Twitch was because he had messaged over 30 different minors on the platform, and that some of the logs being posted were things like the doc going like, hey, little girl, like, what do you guys do at recess? Why don't you take pictures of your whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, you're only 15. Like, if you would see shit like that, the first thing I would think is like, okay, well, damn, if Twitch would have been more honest about why they banned him, then the 5 or so girls that all got like statutorily raped probably would have been safer, because nobody would have allowed Doc to have that platform. That's what I would think, right? But
yes, but from what I understand, this is just this individual case. Like, this report about him getting banned was for this individual case. There may be more additional reports, but I am not aware of additional reports. Okay, just want to
sure,
get that.
yeah, okay, yeah. So that's one person, so that helps a little bit. But again, I think the aggressiveness of his messages, I think,
it's not that like Twitch, as I was explaining, they created an incident response team early on named Gold Sparrow internally. That was their code name to try to handle all of the sexual misconduct allegations. They said that we want to provide a process now to investigations quicker with more resources while providing as much support to victims as possible. And they also created an OSIT, which was to investigate team for reports off-site misconduct by creators. So they did create both of these things internally. The fact that we didn't get information and no one had known anything until Cody just said, fuck it, we'll do it live, and made a tweet, an ambiguous tweet last week. The fact that we didn't know anything means Twitch did a good job. You can criticize Twitch and say, well, if they told people, one, it would be an understanding of what was happening, and two, they could potentially save other potential victims from things happening. And I do understand that sentiment, but their obligation is to the specific alleged victim in this case. Like, they can only handle what they have control of and what they are investigating and what they are working towards. So their responsibility is to protect the victims that were reported through Twitch and the victims that are involved in Twitch. Like, it's not just Doc. There have been, as we, all those other cases, there were many other people permanently banned. We have never heard from Twitch on any of those other situations. The only reason that we know from any of them, because you did like, a 2-week-long stream going over allegations, is that most of the time women were to write tweet longers and Twitter posts or talk to the media telling about like XYZ in different allegations. Those are the only reasons we know. But in all the other cases, and including those specifically, Twitch has never said anything. Twitch has never commented on Method Josh, ever. They've never spoken about Method Josh. That has never been a thing that you will ever hear about. But you know and understand what happened there because the victim in that case spoke out, and you have context to what is happening. But Twitch's responsibility ultimately will always be on the victim and to try to do what they can. And specifically in this case, because it involved a minor, having it always be as anonymous as possible and their safety was their primary importance.
Sure, you can say all of this, but like, Twitch could have literally just said like, we've terminated the contract with Dr. Disrespect because we found out that he was engaged in like illicit sexual contact with underage people. Like, I don't know how that statement endangers the victim. Like, Doc already knows that personally. He knows 100% why his contract was terminated. So I don't know how that.
Like if they give the specifics here, then they're obligated to give specifics on many other very delicate, strong situations.
Wait, why? No, they're not.
Is it completely necessary that Twitch or another tech company is responsible for giving specifics, especially in a case like this?
Is it completely necessary? I mean, like, probably not necessary. It's just like nice for like the public safety, I guess. But it just depends on, like I said, the moral culpability of a company for cutting somebody off, because it would be very easy and I think very quick to turn the lens around and say that Twitch isn't acting out of the best interest for the minor, and Twitch isn't acting out of the best interest for Dr. Disrespect. Twitch is actually just looking out for itself. The idea of national headlines going major partnered contract worker from Twitch, Dr. Disrespect, was DMing other minors on the platform through Twitch's Whispers product to elicit a sexual encounter with her at the next Twitch convention, right? It's pretty easy to look back and go like, oh, no wonder Twitch doesn't want to talk about this publicly. It makes them look bad because it's literally a contracted streamer using their platform to fuck a minor at their event. Yeah, obviously, right? So I don't know, this whole framing of like, oh no, Twitch is doing it just to protect minor. I think that's bullshit.
Don't you think you're being a little bit too cynical here?
Wait, hold on, wait. Hold on. Don't do the Hassan strategy of just like using an adjective. What part of that analysis do you think was unfair? When you ask me, am I being cynical by saying that a subsidiary of one of the largest companies in the world, Amazon, by market capitalization, is looking out for the valuation of that company? Am I being cynical? No, I think I'm being pretty pragmatic.
No, yes. That part, I don't disagree with. It's the aspect of, I don't think it is Twitch's responsibility. I don't even think because it involves a minor in this case, they can legally even say what that hypothetical statement giving out. I don't think
you literally can't make a statement whatsoever. I'm thinking of all, if this is what you're saying, I'm thinking of like all the ways that I could like abuse this. Like, I'm thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna go on Twitch and I wanna fucking murder somebody. I'm always gonna bring a 17-year-old with me, and I'm always gonna be like trying to buy fucking assassins. But like every time I do an assassination thing, I'm gonna tell this everyone, hey, just like say like a sexual message to this guy, so that if any of this like gets discovered by Twitch, they can't publish any of it, because look, there was a minor involved. Yeah, I was trying to hire hitmen to murder people, but look, there's a minor. Now you can't say or publish anything about it. Like, it sounds like the dumbest cheat code in the world. There's no way that this is how it works. It can't be that way.
It's not.
You don't see tech companies commenting on it.
Wait, that's right.
There's terms of service.
Yeah, and they don't
do it or not, and you can get sued.
They also don't comment on it because it doesn't serve their interest. Why the fuck would they say anything? It's not that they're not saying. It would just be bad for them. Like, there was one company that spoke about a specific ban. I think it was Patreon when it came to Lauren Southern getting banned for that Mediterranean Sea shit. They decided to come out publicly and say something because a lot of people were getting randomly banned, and they got completely shit on for saying anything for it. And they tried to do the full transparency thing. I think that's why companies don't do transparency, because it literally doesn't do anything positive for them whatsoever. It's just a bunch of negative PR, negative press, like negative sentiment. Like, it's just horrible for them. So they're just like, ah, fuck it, I won't say anything.
What positive things happen by Twitch going out and saying anything at all about this? It's literally all negative for them. It's much better for them to just like say nothing, ban the guy.
Has it not been even worse? Not only was Guy Beam able to rehabilitate his career after the initial ban, but he got bigger than ever. And his stream became bigger than ever.
Wait. You think that Doc got bigger after his Twitch ban?
I mean, he had a ton of limitations because he couldn't play with people. But
I thought wasn't Dr. Disrespect on the, I'm sorry, not even on the verge of, wasn't he getting like A-list sponsors when he was on Twitch, like sponsored by Gillette, and like doing like major events? I think didn't PUBG or whatever, one of those major things, try to make it like the fucking fate. He was getting invited to all these fucking tournaments. I'm pretty sure a lot of that died off after the Twitch contract termination. That was my recollection.
he became the face of San Francisco 49ers. He was in the new 2K game. I mean, I felt like he did rather well. Maybe not bigger, but at least I would think on par. And through a lot of that time, the discussion absolutely turned against Twitch in terms of like public opinion, even more so that probably was just Twitch screwing him over. So I don't know if really staying quiet helped them. It felt like it hurt even more than what would ever have happened and people not believing them.
But you're saying that it's illegal, that even if they wanted to say something, that there's a law that prevents this from happening, some law.
I know that when it involves a minor, again, it is sent to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They work with law enforcement agencies to investigate. No, it's both. Yes. It is both. It is
anything that CCM or anything that
apparently the 49ers thing was after
it's CSEA. No, it has to be CSEA, which is the non-media version of CSAM, and CSAM both get sent automatically.
Okay, so a reporting agency, which is a tech company in this case, when they send that type of stuff in, which they do, that basically goes to that clearinghouse as you're talking about there, but that does not mean that the tech company can't release redacted text logs of anything going in there. It's not the case. Now, if the doc had like naked photos of a teenager, then definitely they can't release that. That's going to be fucking against the law, because then they're publishing content that's actually illegal. But as far as just pushing out the logs or saying what happened, that would typically, the reason that they wouldn't do that would just because they'd be afraid of getting sued by DOC, because their terms of service probably says that any information that you gives us stays with us, things along those lines. But definitely not like if we publish your shit, we're going to jail, we're doing something criminal. Like right now, if Gmail wanted to, they could go in there and publish your fucking email.
But they never
look horrendous for them, but they could do it.
You will never see a tech company publish private correspondence between two users. Forget being the extra fucked upness of there being a minor involved.
Well, hold on. No, wait. To be clear, that's not true. There was a major tech company, one of the largest social media companies in the world, published emails between employees when Twitter did it with the Twitter files, no?
Did he... You can do things with subpoenas and FOIA requests.
Subpoenas? Those are just journalists covering their shit. They're just journalists like
Elon Musk giving them access to the fucking shit.
Or was it Elon just giving them everything?
Now, you could argue that those were like on emails and business accounts.
Why don't you ask Elon to buy Twitch? Obviously, he has the money, and then he could just send out everyone's information. That's pretty much how you're gonna...
I don't know.
Seems like an exception here.
What do you want to have happen in this situation? When we started there, what do you think?
I really think after seeing this back now for 4 years, that Twitch never revealing anything and all of this only happening because of Cody's tweet, they did a good job. I really feel like with the people that were working on this case, that were interacting with the victim, that handled the punishment, and that in the aftermath, they never spoke to me on the record. These people I have been talking to or around, primary sources for years, never agreed to speak on the record. It's been consistent. It's the only thing that I have been told many dozens of times over and over. Their priority is to protect the victim. I know it sounds probably cheesy or bullshit or whatever, but that is really what I was told so many times about why they would not talk.
No. Why was Dr. Disrespect paid out from his contract then?
That's a good question. It is. I'm not saying that that's not a bad question. I do not have details on the case specifically.
Do you think that they paid him out from his contract because it was part of an NDA that the doc would have agreed to? Like, well, fine, I won't say anything about this to anybody. I won't mention anything to anybody as long as you like settle with me like on this contract here, like pay me up to this, or at least like make me right on this.
They have been advised not to speculate. Okay. Like, actually, Rolling Stone had to hold like a whole meeting with me. I was like, all right, shit you should not say while you're on podcast. When people usually get sued, it's not because of the reporting, it's because of dumb shit you say on stream. I've already done that now a few times. I'm trying.
So that's another thing we should really talk about after we get over, before we finish this call. Which is an interesting part. So we discussed it 2 days ago. I wish you came on for that. But
But I would just say I don't know. It is very possible that there is an NDA, and there is very possible there is some extra circumstances here. All I know is that there are other cases like Les Moonves had allegations of sexual misconduct when he was running CBS, and he was ousted, but he still got his $30 million payout, even though it was ousted. I don't know if the circumstances are the same, but there could very well just be, you know...
Do you know if anything relating to the doc stuff, did any of it actually go to court?
Unaware.
Okay. Would civil suits have to be filed probably somewhere, or it could have been done in arbitration as well?
I have filed requests in every single major San Diego, Los Angeles, Southern California courthouse. So have other reporters, like the Washington Post back then, Bloomberg, Cecilia, who did all her.
Oh wait, well hold on. Well, what you should do is
nothing's ever been found.
Wait, hold on. Fuck those requests. What you should do is grab somebody that has a Twitch partner contract. In that Twitch partner contract, I guarantee you there's an arbitration clause. That arbitration is probably relegated to some third party who could contract for them and see if they have a comment on it, right? Like if it's guaranteed to be arbitrated by XYZ company or XYZ whatever, then like you shoot an email to those people, see if they release any details about that.
They do not have no details. The only people who would have details are still declining to comment.
I don't know why.
The only people who have specific details on what the legal agreement entails and why it was done that way are still not speaking. Everyone else is a secondhand source. Cody, for example, was never a primary source. Okay, Cody as a person is always a secondhand person to gain knowledge from somebody else.
Are you saying he didn't know at firsthand of this? Wasn't he head of purposes?
It doesn't matter.
So he didn't know then, for sure. He had no idea.
So trust and safety is going to be separate. Trust and safety is going to be separate.
But you're saying that he didn't talk to this guy or see this stuff for himself.
No. Cody is a second-hand source.
That's a big statement to make. I think he might say that I know for goddamn sure I've bet my life that this happened.
Well, we have okay for structure, quick one. Trust and safety is completely separate. So it's possibly separate. And then number two,
separate if he saw it himself from someone in trust and safety. I'm not saying it's his position does it. Did he know for sure that happened?
Dan, you can't see it unless you are working in trust and safety and/or law enforcement and/or investigations within Twitch.
Well, no, because what Dan is saying is that it's possible that if you have friends in trust and safety, depending on how many people in trust and safety saw it, it could have absolutely been like so many partners. I know for a fact that happens 100%. But if it's a special enough partner and the report comes through the correct channel, it might be just one guy. Well, at least I used to know. It might have been just one dude that saw that report and he took it straight to legal or straight to the individual that was responsible for negotiating contracts with Dr. Seuss, which is why it didn't get seen by a whole coach. That's possible. I'm saying there are avenues where it could have been seen by a lot more people, and there's avenues where it could have been seen by literally like 5 people. It's possible.
Yeah, I can say it was a very limited amount of people who had access to the internal documentation and this case, and they do also log internally who is viewing it. Not even just making any changes, but Amazon does and Twitch tracks who not only has access, but who is at what time, like it's timestamped, and you can see what happens. So no, Cody specifically did not have access, and the amount of people who did is what made this thing drag on. It's what made it be private this entire time. Because the only limited amount of people who are primary sources through this entire time had declined to comment. It only changed when Cody made a tweet, and then I and a few other people were sent the document. The document being his internal report within Trust and Safety. Someone, I do not know who, I was not able to verify who sent me the document, but I did authenticate the document with several other ex-Trust and Safety Twitch employees that it was real. That is only, once those two things happened, that was the only reason why primary sources now spoke up. 3, for Cecilia's report in Bloomberg, to first confirm that things were correct and real, and that Cody, to corroborate Cody's tweet, and then my report to corroborate Cecilia's, and then give more information. Also, just want to say, Cody's tweet was just ambiguous. It didn't name anybody. It wasn't specific towards any person. My tweet also, the reply, wasn't specific towards any person.
Oh, I did. We did a show, and I said the reason that well, what I heard in Rust was the reason that Doc got banned was he was texting with minors using the Twitch DM product. I said that 2 months before Cody. So it's weird. People in Rust had that information. Maybe I was playing with the Twitch safety.
Well, I mean, like, Cody tweeting it, I was figured it was Cody's fucking...
No, I'm just saying that, like, that was... People knew. Listen,
Well,
I want to switch.
Yeah,
I want to...
Come on, bro. Come on. I mean, the whole reason I was asking you is because I made a tweet 4 years ago saying I knew. Yeah, like, I had known and be investigated. So all the information that came out last week is things that I had known a day or two after when I made the impulsive, bad tweeting decision to begin with. I never lied in that tweet as it was a bad decision to make. I should have never made that tweet. That tweet is incredible.
No, you did the wrong direction. Not only did you make that tweet, you should have come out and you should have said what you knew. And that we were talking about this on their show.
That doesn't make it easy.
That was your make or break moment. Is how I feel about it, not knowing anything about journalism.
If I break the moment, then I get sued, one, by Amazon, the most threatening legal tech company in the world, and then sued again by CAA, who has represented Document Inspect for the last 3.5 years, the most litigious talent agency in the world. So wait, stop talking for a second. To also do it on Twitter without having the backing of a publication, there's a reason my report only now was going through Rolling Stone, because they have legal representation for me if anything were to happen to my reporting. There's lawyers over there. I have indemnity for the story. You don't get that when you just tweet, and I have nobody to represent me in that way. That was a huge portion of me not being able to publish anything then, is because, like, Cecilia getting her report through Bloomberg is 1,000 times more impactful. That's why when her report came out and people were saying, oh, this is just rehashing the thread on Twitter. Yeah, no shit, doesn't fucking matter. Her reporting through Bloomberg had to go through a long list of lawyers and legal teams and fact checkers who had to look over and make sure everything is 100% on board. That is so much different than just making a tweet. And I need to get, like, media literacy. This part is very important. No, I could not just tweet. No, the mistake was even saying that I knew and I could not say. That was a fucking dumb decision. That was a dumb fucking tweet. That part is right. This extra layer you're saying is totally misguided and incorrect.
All right, so now I'm going to talk. So one, you could have done it, okay? First off, there's pretty good journalist protections in this country where you can't force journalists to go and reveal their sources. So it doesn't matter. You said you knew. You knew firsthand, hand to God, that this guy who told you works for Twitch Safety said this is why it happened. He told it to you. That's a source. He's saying, I'm not going on record. He doesn't need to go on record. You've now heard this. You can now go, this is what I have heard. I'm not publishing my source. That's the end of the day. What do you think? They're gonna fucking sue a journalist and somehow magically get you to review your fucking to reveal your sources? When's the last time that happened?
Unfortunately, a bunch. I'm fucking afraid. I'm afraid
journalists revealing their sources. I want to know. And also, by the way, so they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna go through discovery, and that is the truth, by the way. So they're gonna go out there and what? They're gonna sue you for telling the truth?
Now, the discovery part would be a huge issue for him. He probably would not want to do that. And
that they wouldn't have sued you. And then you could have said something, and then maybe he wouldn't have been out on YouTube for a few years.
Look, man,
you would have been a famous journalist doing crazy shit.
I don't have money bags like Destiny here, okay? I could not survive.
You wouldn't have done anything.
Doing it. You are so naive. Okay?
I don't understand why I'm naive. What am I missing? What am I missing? What part am I missing?
Cannot make allegations like that. Fucking people doing that on YouTube and shit, like, and just random people on Twitter, it's so irresponsible. No, you cannot just be making allegations on the record and report someone.
Okay, if I'm a journalist and I'm meeting with the COO of some major company and they're like, listen, the CEO does fucking drugs every day. Look at this shit. Yeah, this is fucking crazy. Watch this video. He does drugs every day. And he fucking beat this person and raped this person. Anyways, I can't give you a copy of this, but I just wanted to show it to you. You know what? I'm running the fucking story. Absolutely. You know why? Because that's a make or break fucking moment for you forever.
Video. And guess what? They're documented.
You didn't keep it. You didn't keep it. You saw it. You said you knew.
No documents have existed until
So
by
you
being-
didn't know then. You were just you had a hunch, and they told you, "Hey, this is why the doc was banned," but you didn't trust the guy. Or
No,
did you...
I had so many secondhand sources and not enough no primary source willing to go on the record. Okay,
But you had primary sources, but they wouldn't go on the record.
go and speak and confirm something on the record is so hard. I
Yeah,
can't
and you
do
don't
explain.
need it.
You need it. You fucking need it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have there been any major stories where they don't list their source? That's weird.
Even making my source anonymous has rubbed people the wrong way because they feel like they should go on the record. And I am a pretty strong opinion that people should go on the record. But in this case, yeah, there is extreme fear for retribution against their careers or personal lives. That's why all of the sourcing in the Verge report, in Cecilia's Bloomberg report, and my report have all been anonymous. And they were
Only there was like some sort of like people who had whistles and they wanted to blow them and had protection and not get fucked over like that. That would have been like the sickest shit. You should have went for that. You would have done that.
Oh,
You don't.
what I should have done is never said anything to begin with. I should have never tweeted. That was my fuck up. You should not be telling people that you know something that you can't say it. One, it just pisses everybody off. And two, journalistically, you shouldn't be doing that because if you actually have everything you need, then you should be working on printing the story and releasing the information, not just like fucking
let's
having
do
a hard on.
pros and cons here. Pros and cons, right? So if you did go out there and said that, here are the pros that happened. Doc wouldn't have gone on to, for 5 more years, get more popular, maybe do more damage to other people. That's number one. Number two, that would have solidified your place as one of the most game-breaking, huge pieces of information broken directly by you, solidifying your spot as like a fucking massive journalist at that point right there, instead of like disappearing from freelance. Thirdly, no one would have sued you because guess what? It was the fucking truth. And you knew it was the truth because you talked firsthand, apparently, to these people, but they just weren't going to go on the record. So you had people that you trusted saying, this is why I got banned, but you're not going to get me saying it, writing it down anywhere. Like, you knew. You could have done it. You could have gone out there and done it, but it was, I mean, you were scared, I guess, of getting sued, but I think that was not worth it to you. I think you should have gone harder.
Okay, I appreciate that. Would have been great. Okay, totally hear you. You can't just one brush aside of not getting sued for, especially considering the two representations of the two companies here. Two, with all due respect, Dan, I was doing fine. 3, doctor disrespect. You know, top of the conversation. And continued not as much, been on mainstream TV quite a bit to represent this entire industry, and you can criticize me and what I say on there and what I've done, but I'm the only person that has ever fucking done that. When I disappear, it's not like anyone took my spot to represent, like, the people. No, it's just fucking me, okay? So I didn't need this entire situation to hang over my head. The reason I disappeared was because I made a stupid tweet, I lost my reputation, everyone thought I lied, I pretty much lost my career. It was really depressing every single time I wanted to do a Valorant talk show and talk about fucking Counter-Strike or fighting games or other esports. That is what I really actually care about, and the entire fucking chat and every single reply and every DM is, you're a fucking liar, Jew insult, you fucking did this for clout, you only did this for clout, you're only big because of Doc, and what happened to Doc is like every single day. So yeah, that was really depressing, on top of some personal stuff, including me getting divorced after 10 years, which nobody really knows about. Those two things made me leave the internet. Yeah, fucking really goddamn annoying, alright? It was self-inflicted by my, again, stupid tweet of making it seem like I did not know what I was talking about. I mean, Destiny can probably, hopefully, vouch for my tweet being accurate. I wasn't just fucking bullshitting people. It was a bad tweet, but I was truthful and I was honest, and it was just really hasty. But that thing ended up ruining my rep. And I've been trying to fix it and address it while getting the truth out and navigating all the other stuff, the media portion, the fucking the legal portion, the people getting sourced on record. Like, it's all very important in terms of all of this coming together. Like, there's a lot of moving parts that all had to happen for it to really be accurately out there. But I mean, Steven, am I fucking lying?
About what in particular?
this entire thing and my initial tweet and knowing but not being able to get it over the line.
I mean, what do you want me to say about that?
I mean, I spoke to you long.
I know, I remember very well, but I don't know what you want me to say about that. I would say you're probably not lying based on, that. I don't know what you want me to say, but yeah.
I would like, I mean, part of your tweet still thinks I'm full of shit, okay? They still think I fucking lied.
No, to be clear, no one here thinks you lied. Everyone here thinks you knew.
Well,
Jesse's fucking dead to rights. No.
You
can just stop talking. Everyone here knows that you know, and that they know that you've known since day one, but that you wouldn't get someone on record, so you didn't say anything. Like, no one's retarded. You went out and you said, hey, I know why, and he's done, not just on Twitch. You don't say that as a fucking JK when you're a journalist as respected as you are.
I didn't say that, by the way. Your best example was something that I did not say.
He's done and not just on Twitch?
That's Shannon.
Okay, whatever.
That is Sacriel's wife, okay? Big distinction. I'm just saying, if the one example you want to use
my fault.
The thing that I did not say.
For one thing to try and fucking nail me on this one thing. You knew for sure. I think everyone in DGG knows that you knew for sure.
See, even Jesse the chat doesn't even know that was Shannon's tweet, okay? That was Shannon's tweet, all right? That he's done and not just on Twitch. That was Shannon. That was not me.
Okay, again, everyone thinks that you knew for sure. They're upset because you wouldn't say why. You wouldn't go further after that. It's not because of that.
I mean, it's not like I didn't try to provide additional reporting and hints. Even like a week after, I was the first person to report, even though everyone went over it, that Facebook and YouTube were not going to be giving them deals. And all the speculation about how it was like a contract issue, about platforms, I tried to provide reporting early on about how you could eliminate certain entire categories of incidents.
Wait, can I ask a question? How did other companies find out? How they transmitted that? It must have been right?
As I reported in my story yesterday, Ryan Wyatt, otherwise known as Squiz, confirmed to me on the record that he was approached by a Twitch employee and several investigating journalists of the situation that they had heard and told him. And his comment was that, I should probably read the full quote, but he understood it was still back then, it was rumors. So they weren't able to make, the unfortunate part of all of it was there were so many rumors circulating in the industry, one that a minor was involved, he says. But no one produced first-hand knowledge or evidence, and because of those rumors, there was no reason to entertain doing any deal with Dr. Disrespect. And no evidence produced means you can't act on the terms of service violation. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said, quote-unquote, no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors, but even still, there was never any reason to do a deal with him after the ban. So you can even see from the person that was running all of YouTube gaming how, yeah, again, Twitch's statement and Doc's statement, especially in 2022, made everything even more difficult to discern from a public standpoint of not having direct knowledge about what to do. But some people were tipped off, such as them, about the allegations, and they had made even internal decisions. So there was nothing ever officially said by YouTube that entire time, but that's why Dr. Disrespect was always like complaining about not getting the support from YouTube. They did have information. When Valkyrie and Tim the Tatman and Ludwig all got those big deals, Doc was never even offered an opportunity to negotiate one of those.
I mean, that just makes business sense if you can't go to another site either, right? Like, you can't go to Twitch. So, but, okay. So you wouldn't change anything. You said the way you would change is you just wouldn't make a tweet. That's what you would tweet. But you knew.
I would continue working behind the scenes and speaking to people and continuing to try to get someone to go on the record. Yes. If I didn't make that tweet initially and I just made the follow-up reporting about the YouTube and Facebook and I just continued to get small pieces of information out there, everything would have went a lot better.
Can I ask you, what would have let you publish Dr. Disrespect got banned for texting with minors? What would you have needed that you didn't have?
Usually, you need at least 2 primary sources on the record and or documentation that this was happening. Okay, 2 days after this happened, I had a message from a trust and safety person that was working at Twitch at the time that could say it was due to a situation involving a minor, but they wouldn't provide me a screenshot of the document. And because they could not provide me a screenshot or the file itself, I'm unable to use that. It didn't matter that I had a direct line. I needed absolute 100% concrete. It didn't matter that I had a million secondhand sources, like an unlimited amount of secondhand sources. It didn't matter that I had all this other kind of unrelated information of Doc with other women and text messages and DMs from other women for other things. Like, all of that wasn't able to help me, but it had so much circumstantial things that I was always so close, but not over the line for me.
All right, so okay.
By the way, it wasn't just me. Okay, do you know how many other journalists, such as Cecilia, were working on this thing? All of them were working on this one case for so long. Journalists at Washington Post, journalists at Kotaku, journalists at Aftermath, Cecilia from Bloomberg, just other mainstream people from the Times had looked into it at one point.
Yes, I get it.
You're incapable of making this happen. It was...
Okay, these rules that you set for yourself, they were your own rules, right? Like, I need 2 sources on record. Yes, there is no law saying you need to have sources. There's
I'm not trying to be a random fucking dipshit like every other asshole on Twitter or that streams or makes YouTube videos.
Personal rules. It's not like you're working for the
standard journalist rules are 2 primary sources on record. Me doing the Rolling Stone report with 1 source is actually abnormal. However, I can guarantee that my source's authenticity has, you know, I'm not, again, the protection of them being anonymous is important.
Wait, who's your source?
It is important, you know, but they have authority in there to be my.
So who's your source? Who is it?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Well, you just said on the record. That's what on the record is.
Did you read the thing? Are you like, what are we talking about?
Okay, you're saying that you have 2 sources. I'm trying to ask you a question. You're trying to say you have 2 sources on the record, but then you're saying now your source is anonymous. So what's the difference between that and what you had on day 1?
Being on the record means that they are willing to be, their statements are willing to be used within the story, and that they are willing to be quoted. That is on the record. In terms of like being named on the record, that is when you are putting your name on it. Being awarded, being anonymous is generally rare in cases, and should only be given in certain situations.
To be clear, on the record literally means having to. I mean, you can say all that, but that's like the absolute definition.
Okay.
Wait, what are you guys disagreeing for about on the record?
I was saying the difference is allowing yourself to be quoted and for your information to be used. Because when a conversation is off the record, then people are just talking and the information that being told to you can be used inside of there.
Yeah, wait, what is Dan disagreeing on? What are you disagreeing on?
Let's say on the record means that it can be attributed to you, a person. If I'm not on the record because I'm an anonymous source. That's not on the record. That's nothing.
Wait, I'm pretty sure. I think
you want to Google it before you be pretty sure.
Hold on, stop it. Hold on. It's not a Googling the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition. It's having read a large. Hold on. Okay, let me know when you're done. Okay. There is no legal definition of on the. What do you mean legal? You think it's enshrined in law?
Okay.
What? Okay.
Then let's go with common parlance if you want to go that way. What do you think on the record means?
My guess is that when somebody says on the record, there's probably a distinction made between, do you want to quote me and attribute this to me, or do you want me to tell you information, you can publish it, but don't name me? For instance, when you read and I've read a lot of fucking news stories that are talking about things going on in the State Department or in the DOD or whatever else, right? You get a lot of things saying confirmed by 2 unnamed sources. Those aren't off-the-record comments where the journalists are just publishing like shit that people take them off the record. Those are probably things where the guy said, hey, listen, I'll tell you this or that or that. Like, yeah, you can publish this. Don't say it came from me, though. That's probably some combination of like on or off. It's on the record, but they're not attributing it to a particular person. That'd be my guess.
Okay. Yeah, I completely disagree. On the record, as far as I can tell, is something that's attributed to a specific person that another person can go and corroborate.
Okay,
Right?
so you think that wait, so just to be clear,
source says X.
I know, yeah. So then to be clear, you think that in every single media publication where people are citing anonymous sources, you think when they're talking to those people are all like, this is off the record, but they publish that anyway?
I think that if someone says this is off the record, that at that point it's like, hey, I don't even want you saying, forget you're even hearing and forget you're even saying this. So no, I don't think that.
So then,
No.
so then they're on the record, but they're not naming the
it.
sources.
What's that?
So then that means that these are people who are on the record, but they want to be kept anonymous.
No, those are people that are saying, I don't want you writing about what I'm about to tell you at all.
Oh, okay. So you think that so all those media stories that say unnamed officials from these departments, that's all off the record convo, but the journalists are publishing that anyway.
I think there are people that are giving me information and saying, don't use my name.
Yeah. So what would you call that?
Well, that's not off the record, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm saying it's not off the record.
Well, okay, look, I will just say that, like, within a media context, the use of anonymous sources have increased heavily over time, and you can debate if that has been good or not. There are certain industries, like sports, let's say, where anonymous sources are the standard in terms of, you know, when a player is joining a certain team or being traded, and I think people... I mean, you could argue that sports is not it's not like a highly sensitive situation. Why are anonymous sources being allowed for the new Woj tweet or Shams tweet or fucking Adam Schefter? Why are they being allowed to use anonymous sources? And you could argue that that's not acceptable. But at the same time, you understand that like all the agents and all the team owners and certain players are never going to communicate that information to even get your trade rumors involved. And then when there are serious situations, whether it's national security, and I definitely say this specific case surely entices that it is a situation warranting being anonymous, especially considering where the sources are coming from, which are ex-trust and safety employees, which is a very secure part of any tech company. They deserve to be awarded anonymity in this case. I do feel so. But there is definitely something to argue about the increased uses of anonymous sources in general and how journalists should be wanting to attribute names for certain reporting. I think it's fine to be upset about that and to talk about that, but there is a distinction there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this is called on background, and we can just move on. On background, you don't name the source directly, you say what their background was, and you can report their stuff in the story.
Yes, that's true. That's what on background means. But then you want specific quotes to be used, then you need them on the record. They can still be anonymous. They can still be given anonymous. Great media literacy discussion, Stephen. Hope this has helped, not you. And come on.
I disagree with you completely.
I know you do. You're being an internet person right now.
I'm not being an internet person on the record.
Okay, Dan,
Means attached to a person. Off the record means I've given you something I don't want you writing about.
Dan,
On the record means
do
it's
you think
going
he's
to be
lying?
attached.
Dan, do you think he's lying about industry standards of what on the record means? Or do you think he just doesn't know?
I think he's he's said a lot of things that are not correct in this conversation.
If you don't
so
know,
I
then
don't think he knows.
Come on, if you disagreed with 2 primary sources being the standard journalistic practice, then
No, I said that's your personal guideline.
yeah,
So
I know. You saying that means the rest of this bullshit you're saying shouldn't even matter. Because that's almost one of the first basic things.
And under what? Under I'm like a blogger journalist.
No,
I'm
telling you can go check the Pointer is a good journalistic media outfit. You can go look at any major schooling education for journalism. And by the way, I don't have no journalism degree. I never went to college. I have just tried to abide by as much of what I know from my work, actually working with reporting sites and people that I like and their work that they do.
I want to ask a different question, just because I feel like you guys are getting in the weeds of what's a good journalist. Are you aware of like QS or contract clauses for companies and what they look like at Twitch on the time? You know the things like behavior that will give Twitch a lot of leeway to terminate contracts without penalties. Because I imagine if the content of what was discussed in the game is really important, I am surprised people that have had to pay so many penalties in terms of paying out the contract before the contract is right, give them leeway. So were the contract at the time not in a way that would give Twitch the discretion to get rid of somebody for that kind of behavior?
Good question. Still unclear on the information of the legal.
No, I'm not asking you the contract. I'm asking you the contracts that people had at the time. If this was...
Well, from what I understand, like, most of the people that signed, like, the exclusive contracts, like Doc, have their own unique agreements.
Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay. There's two factors that people have to balance out when they think about contracts, okay? One is what is written in the contract, but two is what is in the best interest of both parties. Contracts can be flexible, and the way that people approach them can be flexible if one side is like clearly going to be fucked. A real life example of this would have been in the gaming industry when FaZe signed, there was some guy, and the original contract is like pretty restrictive, and eventually he basically broke his contract and left because he was kind of getting fucked. But FaZe was aggressively trying to renegotiate that contract with him because they knew that like the guy wasn't, was it Tfue? Yeah, wasn't gonna have a good time under that contract, and they aggressively tried to renegotiate with him. Like, yeah, we know that this doesn't work. Like a company from everything that I've seen in common practice, a company is not going to have a contract that's starting to not serve both parties and follow through with that contract until both of them go over a cliff. They're going to like have a desire to renegotiate. Now, I think generally in contracts involving talent, especially that are representative of certain agencies or whose agencies are representing them, usually you have clauses in there. I think it's called a moral clause, but basically it says that if you engage in like some kind of behavior that like reflects really poorly on the company, they have the right to approach you, and if you can't remedy it in time, or if you can't remedy it, they will terminate the contract. Now, it could be, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to go back and check my old Twitch contract, but almost every contract I've signed with another company usually has some type of clause like this in here. However, the thing is, like I said before, probably in every party's involved interest to not make this illegal. So if there was a contract that Dr. Disrespect signed with Twitch, and that is a morality clause, Twitch can probably say, listen, we're triggering this clause. There is no way you can remedy this situation. We got to terminate. And Dr. Disrespect might say, hold up, I don't think I actually did anything that bad. Bullshit, you're not. And Twitch comes back and says there's two options. They can say, okay, well, we can go to arbitration and fight this, in which case all of this might be made public, and it's going to look fucking horrible for everybody. Or we can say, listen, fuck you, you know you fucked this. We owe you 50 million, lump sum, whatever we're going to pay out. We'll give you 15 million and we'll call it even. And the doc says, 15, 20, okay, fuck it, 15 million is fine. We'll go our separate ways. And they both sign NDAs, and that's why nobody released any information. That's why doc says, oh, I don't know why it was blah, blah, blah. And that's probably what happened. That'd be my guess.
That was pretty good.
It's a pretty good theory.
I mean, really, there are several potential reasons for many things based on what's happening in the contract, but I don't know. Could have been to protect Twitch. It could have been to protect both parties. The victim could be involved. Unclear. Really, I don't know. I don't have any information on what following surroundings of what happened there.
That's fair. But let's say, hypothetically, in a world where Destiny's theory is not correct, do you happen to know how much leeway Twitch allows itself in terms of the ability to get rid of streamers, provided they violate? Like, are you familiar with the contracts that a lot of these big streamers get? Have you ever been able to see those? Not without naming anyone specifically. I'm just curious. If
not lately. No.
Okay.
Well then. Dan, you think I'm a liar?
I have a question for you. So this latest article...
Why so hostile?
I'm just asking a question.
What's with the hostility?
What's with not answering questions? So you have an on-the-record source for this Rolling Stone article that you did. Because I'm reading through it, I don't see a name of anyone on here.
No, it's what I just explained to you.
Okay, so here's the. Do you like the Associated Press? Here's their definition.
Did you read Bloomberg's piece? Did you read
On the
Bloomberg's?
record, the information can be used with no caveats.
Did you
Quoting the
see any
source.
named sources in Bloomberg's piece?
You are again interrupting me without answering me. Like, I'm going by the Associated Press's standards here. There's three things. One that Justical brought up: on the record, off the record, and background. On the record, the source and everything they say can and will be named. Off the record, information can't be used, but maybe it can be helpful for you to do your background checks and find more information. And then background, which is they can use some of the information, but like they're an anonymous source or something like that. Those are the options that there are. But you're saying you have an on-record source here, but there's no source named. That's why I don't understand what's different now from back then.
There is a middle ground between. There's also getting quoted and being given.
Oh, let's the Associated
being granted, being anonymous.
Okay, I'm gonna write
That line is certainly, as I just said this, that line of giving sources on the being anonymous and being able to, given that anonymity while being quoted, is a line that has been moved back and forth across several media organizations.
Well, you made it seem like it was pretty fucking crystal clear and I was a retard, but I'm reading to you now from the AP that says on the record means using your name and being quoted. And when it's not that, it's background. So am I retarded, or is this a little bit more nuanced?
Background is usually for just the background information, not to be quoted. There is a middle ground, yes, between on the record and having your name there, and then being on the record and also being given anonymity. That usually is not granted. Okay, usually it needs to be in specific circumstances of why that can be granted. However, that has become more lenient over time, and you can argue whether that is good or bad. Okay, that's definitely a discussion to be had in the media world, is people being able to allow to be anonymous and good or bad. In this specific case, I believe it is warranted. That is also why in Bloomberg's article, all sources to Cecilia's reporting were anonymous. The Verge also reported the day before Bloomberg's article came out to confirm Cody's tweet. Those sources were also anonymous. In all three stories so far this week, from The Verge to Bloomberg to mine, anonymous sources were quoted. Okay,
I don't understand what's different now from years ago when you had a source.
Destiny just brought up to you how he reads stuff all the time. I'm telling you, if you pay attention to like just the general shit you're reading, you will see more anonymous sources than ever before. You can actually say that is kind of messed up in certain...
Well, no, wait. I think the specific question is, who's been willing, who moved that you're able to now have a source?
The primary source. The reason why all of these publications are coming out now is because only the primary source...
And the primary source here is Ryan Wyatt, or...
No. That was the YouTube thing.
Okay, so your primary source is the background person that has confirmed they're seeing certain, like, firsthand.
Well, they're the ones that gave quotes on this too. That they had direct knowledge of this case and that saw the whispers directly and that could authenticate the document.
And you're talking about, and that quoted person here is the ex-Twitch employee.
Yes, ex-Twitch Trust and Safety. Ex-Twitch Trust and Safety are also the sources for the Bloomberg piece.
And we don't know who this person is? It's not named publicly? I'm just confirming. So. I don't know. What's wrong with me?
I can't tell if you're just trying to, like...
I'm not trying to fuck with you. I think
Wait, Slasher, can you answer yes or no to this? I'm curious to this.
No, why is Dan doing that?
Slasher, give me yes or no. Slasher, yes or no? Are you allowed to answer that or no?
Why are we doing that?
I hate you. No, related. Dan is a shit stirrer. Let him shit stir. That's what he does.
I'm not even shit stirring. You don't understand.
It's kind of frustrating though.
If you listen to the show that we had, it's because
I know. All I wanted to do was have a, I mean, of course I'm down with trolling all the time. But why are you trying to control here now with this? Why?
Let me show how this conversation could have gone.
Why?
Like, It's not trolling you. I just genuinely wanted to be in your head of what changed, what's different, what you could have done
I
differently.
understand. I am fully aware and understanding of the whole thing. I feel like I have explained it pretty clearly to you. You're the one that keeps saying fucking dumb shit, and then I get frustrated and annoyed, and now I'm thinking you're trying to fuck with me.
I'm not trying to fuck with you.
You're either not listening to me,
I'm not trying to fuck with you. And when you say I'm saying dumb shit, I'm saying stuff from the AP, and you're being like, yeah, well, things are changed, and that's not really accurate anymore, and everything else. So
I feel like I have explained this certain situation clearly in terms of like the context and what happened and like why certain sources were giving certain, you know, why this happened, why all 3 stories are anonymous, why anonymous sources are used in certain situations.
yeah, I think it's fine. I think you should have done it years ago. I think it would have been better.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
There's a way.
Brother, I explained in the very beginning that no primary sources are willing to go on the record.
But it doesn't sound like they are now either.
They didn't want
I
the
mean
comments
to be-
Dan, they didn't want the comments published. That's what he's saying. They didn't want the
Yes,
comments
no
published.
one will have their comments published.
Well, wait,
one-
no, wait. That's not what you're saying because you did publish their comments. They're published in this Rolling Stone. So
I mean,
of a name attached to it.
at the beginning.
At the time,
beginning.
4 years ago.
Oh, okay. Sorry, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one has agreed saying, yes, you can use this on background. Forget even being quoted. No background. Nothing.
Dan, do you think they
Everything-
should have used their comments without their consent?
Everything is off the record. The point is, everything was off the record, or secondhand sources that are on the record but can't be used anyway, okay?
But Dan's asking what changed from back then. So, like, do you think you should have
Yeah,
used
that's the
their
big
comments?
thing.
Cody's tweet. Cody's ambiguous tweet, which we still have no idea what that was about. And then a document was sent to several people.
Yeah.
And then with those two things, that primary sources felt comfortable speaking after.
Did this document exist in 2020?
It's the internal report. So it was
So
created.
did you see this in 2020?
No one saw this. I've never seen an internal trust and safety report for any user in my life.
Can you find mine?
You're not.
Why?
I've never seen an internal trust and safety report for any user in my life.
Can you find mine?
You're not.
Why?
It's probably like 13 pages long, bro.
Why not make the tweet Cody did yourself? Like years ago, I guess, or more recently.
Because I didn't feel like it was my right to do that.
But you kind of like. Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah, I already made one mistake. Why am I gonna do two?
Well, I mean, you could have. I mean, I don't want. This is like pushing it. I'm not going to say anything happened along those lines. But like, you could have argued that you're like protecting kids because you had people come to you who work for Twitch and safety or whatever, and they're like, listen, here's the deal, bro. You can't use any of this in any fucking story, but dox fucking kids or whatever it is. And now you're like, holy shit, are you fucking serious? Well, how am I going to find proof? Sorry, man. Good luck. You can't use any of this. And you're like, okay, fuck. Like, I don't know. You could have put that out there.
It feels like you think it's just like some big fucking cover up, or there's some,
I think it's more than
Area-
Dan's concerned that like the morality going in here is resulting in children not being protected, like
But
in the
they
future.
were,
So you're trying to
though.
protect the original victim, right? But
Yes.
but what if 10 kids had gotten raped as a consequence of Dr.
Okay, can we
Disrespect still
not-
being a huge name?
Can we just pull it back a little bit? All right, I understand where you're going there, but it's
Sure.
their primary responsibility is to protect the individual case that they are involved in. I know the thinking that people were protecting like Doc in the situation. I just don't see it. It was not that way. I do not see it that way.
I'm unaware, but like Destin, you follow a lot of like journalists on Twitter. Is it normal for them to fly off the handle and just make claims with zero sources and like be well seen for it? If I feel like if Slasher was to make these comments without anybody on the record or anything like that and saying he's like, oh, I'm trying to protect kids, wouldn't he be seen as less
That would
credible?
be. You can't do that.
Yeah, I feel like as a journalist, like they're one of the few people who shouldn't be doing that. So I don't know why you guys.
Again, I should have never made the
that.
first tweet. The first tweet was stupid. None of the suggested tweets are good. The initial one that I made should never have been made. That was my fuck up, which I totally admit. I have no problem people making fun of me for that shit. Pop my fucking pasta time and time again. I was truthful and I was earnest and hasty in there, but it was wrong to do.
Yeah, I think it's fine for an ex-employee to do it because I don't think they're held to that standard of sourcing things and things like that. But I think if a journalist is doing it, I think they would be not well seen.
I just want to put some full disclosure out there. One, I have known Cody for 15 years. We worked together at GameSpot and CBS Interactive as esports journalists way before he ever joined Twitch. However, I had no knowledge or any idea this was happening. He never spoke to me when he was working for Twitch. That his entire time there is as like a source in a journalistic matter. He was so good because he knew. Never talked to me. Never talked to Rod. And I had no idea this was happening. No one had any idea this was happening. I still don't know why Cody did this in this way. But he just, fuck it, we'll do it live. And it was an ambiguous tweet. Nobody was named. I didn't say anything either. Dr. Disrespect just decided to reply to.
One thing we can all agree on.
Ambiguity.
Let's become friends. Why don't we talk about how this is the worst response possible to a doc to ever do? Like it's like, hey, How about just shutting the fuck up and maybe you can keep your career, Doc? What a moron.
I want to ask a question about that. What do you think was omitted from his responses that was the most telling? Not what was in it, but what was omitted.
Oh my god, the responses were so fucking bad, just so colossally bad. Okay. Let me narrow in on your question. So you're asking me what did he not say?
What did he not say that you thought was really pertinent? I think that's more important than what he actually said.
Okay, that's perfect. So in this type of shit, he was like so. It came off so lawyer speak. Like, remember the first thing he said? It was like, Twitch and I have come to an agreement, and there was no civil or criminal liabilities or anything else along those lines. Yeah.
Wait, do you think his Twitter replies were actually passed through a PR firm and like lawyers? You guys legit know. There's no way.
Not the last one.
Not any of them.
Well, here's the question is does he have representation right now? Because if the answer is yes, then almost certainly they were.
You don't think Doc can just tweet by himself without
when this level, when this amount of money is involved, and when his deals are going to be contingent upon, or the money that his agency makes. Because keep in mind, if you have an agency, they're taking a cut from deals that you sign, and he's potentially nuking his career, and they've got a financial interest vested in it. I'm sure that they are back and forth and chatting with each other about how things should be handled and what should be said. That'd be my guess.
I mean, I think Doc was probably freaking the fuck out because this is like such an obvious call out to him, and then he just. Man, the way he answered this was like the worst. I don't know if there was a more bad way to answer this than what he did. Can you think of something, Abba?
I can't. That's why I honestly didn't believe that there was representation looking at that, because it just felt like no lawyer in his right mind would look at that statement and say, yeah, that's going to be good for your son. Irrespective of whatever information came after the fact. It looked horrible. So that's why when I was talking to people, I couldn't believe that a PR firm or a lawyer would look at that and be like, A-okay that. Just in my head, it just seemed crazy.
I just want to clear something up. There was no NDA that cleared for Cody's tweet or anything like that. If there is an NDA involved, it would be Twitch and Dr. Respect, and I am unclear again if that is the case. But for everybody else,
employees at Twitch don't have NDAs.
Yeah,
they're not like not for like again. Cody was second hand. It's not like he had an NDA that was a primary thing and then it expired or something.
Wait.
I mean, I would assume he had something saying, hey, listen, you're here, you have access to individual creator accounts, you have access to a lot of proprietary information, you're not allowed to disclose anything you learned here, especially about individual customers or users, for 4 years.
Yes, but it's not like something expired. It's not why. I don't really think there was a reason. I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I know that there was no NDA.
So then I have to ask you, there's plenty of people who've been fired between now and then. Why has nobody ever said anything? There's like no NDA involved.
They all hate kids.
No, because again, it's only a very, very small circle of people that is primary.
But he wasn't primary. He was secondary. That's what you said.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a lot more secondary people.
Well, maybe Cody is no fear. I'm going to be honest with you. Cody is he's the man. I love Cody. Cody is one of the most honorable, respectable people.
Hold on. Stop. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Stop glazing. Stop glazing. Hold on. If he's only leaking this after he's totally and completely out of the industry and he's got literally nothing to lose, but he can gain a ton of publicity and whatever by leaking this particular thing, then no, there's something noble about that. He's literally fucking, riding on the top of the 17-year-old's fucking sexting, right, to boost his own popularity.
I really cannot speak for him. I don't know.
Still don't know that they were 17, by the way.
That is another part.
Did you get contacted by CAA? Did they contact you after the tweet?
No. I spoke to CAA to confirm that he was no longer a client. But he was no longer a client before this happened. Like this, and I learned that this was several months ago.
So you weren't contacted after your initial tweet, like to back off?
You mean 4 years ago?
Yeah. 2020.
No, I contacted DOS representation of CAA to confirm if this was true, and they never answered me. That is the only correspondence I have.
That's what they should have done this time. Just not said anything. Oh man. I want to go read the Doc's tweets again. They're just so bad.
Okay, my last question before I leave.
Yeah.
I just want to ask last thing. If all right, I'm operating on the perception that like these logs are as bad as they can be. But if they were like very sexually explicit and there were plans to meet up, I feel like that's a very solid case no for a criminal complaint. So is the fact that there was no criminal complaint meaning that there probably wasn't that overt of a sexual suggestion or case made?
I think there's several possibilities, but I do not want to speculate.
Well, I will speculate. Fuck. If the age of consent in the place where Doc was located was 16 or 17, I don't know if you get hit with like the corruption of a minor as long as they're not like sending you like federally illegal like child porn or something. You might still be able to like make all those arrangements to go meet that person. I don't know what the law is for that.
Oh, so wait, if you're talking to a minor in Florida where the age of consent's 18, but you're in like Utah where it's like 14, I'm not
Well, you'd have to, if you were gonna go legal, you'd have to like.
What if TwitchCon is in a place where they wouldn't be legal? Like the place you guys were gonna meet and fuck isn't legal.
There's like a whole area of law where like people fight over like where's the nexus of interest or like what is the appropriate venue to sue somebody. That's not like a settle. I'm not trying to don't mistake me and say like no it definitely would be here, but that's the thing that you would probably have to fight over. And it might be that in a certain case you're like well it's fighting for the venue here wouldn't make any sense. So that is a possibility maybe.
More speculation.
People are saying over state lines is federal. That is absolutely not true. Nothing is true about that statement.
I believe it's based on the state.
Nope, it's not. It's always gonna. There's always fights over venue. Like for instance, like one party, two party consent. If you live in a two-party consent state, that means both people have to consent to recording. If I live in a one-party consent state, only one party. But if I record, like, am I violating the law? Well, I might be violating the other state's law, but not my state law. You might want to sue me over it. But like now you have to like fight for venue, like which law should apply. My understanding, obviously I'm not a litigator, but my understanding is that like people will fight a lot over like what is the appropriate venue to pursue something. Somebody might think that a certain state is more favorable for them. Other people might argue for another venue. Like that's a thing that people fight over a lot. I don't think it's ever like a clear-cut answer.
Slasher, was it your favorite part of his tweets where he went in there back and forth and edited it in and out minor? That was my favorite part, I think.
It was pretty good.
He is.
I'm sure if he awares that once you edit something on Twitter, you get a giant fucking notification.
That's why I think he's a fucking moron, and he like wasn't using a PR firm to do this. Like, there's so many things he could have done differently. Like, okay, try to make it sound a little bit better. Be like, listen, guys, this person, I thought they were 18. You know, like, you know what it must be? If I had to guess, I think the doc probably assumes that the logs are about to leak, and he's trying to get out in front of it. So the logs 100%. Must be super fucking bad for this to all happen. Because otherwise, if the logs don't leak, you can just say whatever the fuck you want. Be like, listen, I did some sexting, but I don't know what all this shit's about. You guys are on some shit. Or just say fucking nothing. Who's gonna give a shit? That's what I would do.
I thought that was the one thing he omitted that I thought would have been super key. A lot of people were saying like, oh, maybe he didn't know. And I'm like, if that was the case, I feel like that has to be in there. We lead with that. There's no way you don't put that in that long thing. So when he omitted that, that was very telling to me that obviously in the log he knew the person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, before I assume that, can you guys think of any theory why he wouldn't mention that in that long ass tweet that he knew he didn't know her age if he didn't know?
Well, he did know. That's actually in the reporting from the Rolling Stone article.
That's reporting, but I'm thinking this statement. Like, why wouldn't he include that? That's what I'm asking.
I just want to say...
Wait, why wouldn't he include what?
Why wouldn't he include the fact that he didn't know that she was underage if he didn't know?
Because he did know, right?
No, yeah, that's what too. But if you were to assume that he didn't know, let's say there was a reason why. I'm just asking if anyone can give one. That's what I'm asking.
No, there's no reason.
What?
I just want to say real quick that for him or you, Dan, to expect, or anyone online, truly, because I see people in the chat asking, to expect to see the logs here or literally any other case or situation that would ever involve like a Twitch whisper or a Twitter DM or a Facebook message or any type of like sexually explicit content with a minor, you will never see them. And for
you could. Some
expectation. No, that would be insane.
Why would that be insane? I feel like that shit happens like, dude.
Not only for, but those weren't. What, like an employee releasing private messages between two users is insane and just to begin with. But for the extra layer of there being sexually explicit messages or media sent to a minor, and to have to want for you to want to have to see it is not a realistic thing that you or anyone else on the internet should ever expect. I feel
Hold
like
on, that's literally the Chris Hansen To Catch a Predator. Like, believe me, this shit happens. That's all the show did. It's like, I want to
they are
your beehole. You know what I'm saying?
No, because they, at that time when they were doing the show or whatever, they were like hiring, or they were using the police department to make a fake identity online and then to gather communication based off the police doing an undercover investigation. Those are two completely different things. Whenever you see like,
Episodes didn't have the police. Remember, they let him go.
yeah, okay, whenever you see fucking assholes doing like pedo hunters or some shit on YouTube, that is the absolute. I mean, a lot of people think it's justice and they love it as content, but you have to be able to understand the difference between doing it as content and whatever you see as justice, and then doing it what would be the legal way of approaching the situation. And those are two completely different things.
We're on a different boat. I'm not talking about Twitch being like, hey guys, here are the logs. I'm talking about some anonymous source that used to work at Twitch that was there when the Doc Disrespect shit happened and had a copy of these fucking shits because they were crazy and being like, now's the time to drop that.
Releasing private communication between you two users is insane. Releasing two private communication between you two users where one is underage and it is sexually explicit is fucking crazy, Dan. What the fuck do you not understand about this shit? I actually don't fucking get it. What are you talking about?
I feel like you're trying to get like obsessively upset right now to try and make your bad point seem better. This is very common. People
no one on the internet should be demanding private messages.
No one's demanding. I'm just saying it's possible they could leak. I'm saying it's possible it could leak. I don't
When there are leaks happening, it's from one end of the communication or the other. Either one person or the other person in the private communication is
I understand it is possible it can leak. Yes? And Doc feels like maybe this Cody guy, maybe he has a copy of it. He's freaking the fuck out. Because that's the only thing that can possibly explain his absolutely omega retarded response.
Okay, hold on. Let me just real quick. Okay, for some reason Slasher's really bad at communicating, okay, but I understand what Slasher's saying, okay, and I maybe might agree, okay. What Slasher is saying is, let's assume, okay, let's hyperbolize a bit. Let's say that it's a 12-year-old sexting with a 45-year-old. What Slasher is saying is that there's no sane world where somebody is posting like explicit sex logs from a 12-year-old to a journalistic outlet because now you just provided like child sexual fucking jerk-off material to the entire fucking internet. That I can go read the fucking sex logs like a fucking 12-year-old. And he's saying this is a hyperbolic comparison, but it's like the same as saying like, oh, you really think that person like made child porn to that person? I don't believe you. Like, post the pictures, show us, prove it. That's what Slasher's saying. That you would never expect that type of material to ever be posted on the internet involving sexual communication with a minor. I think that's.
Also, I could be wrong, but in all my time of seeing things being leaked, it's very rarely coming leaks from the platform, and it's generally from one of the two parties. So the idea that I don't think.
Oh, that is another person that could leak it too. Yeah.
Well, no, hold on.
Wait a minute. I'm going to read the legal description to you, okay, Dan, and everyone here.
Wait, why does that matter here?
It's on the Law Cornell website about the permitted disclosure from a provider being the platform on certain messages. A provider that submits a report under subsection A1 may only disclose information only to a law enforcement agency described in subparagraph A, B, or C, or NCMEC, which is the National Children for Missing and Exploited Children, which I explained before is where it was reported to, or as necessary to respond to a legal process, such as a subpoena. Those are the only certain times where information can be exposed, and to who? To law enforcement agency. And to NCMEC. That is the standard of where these reports go to.
So that's what you're saying, okay? I understand what you're saying is that when you do a report, it goes to NCMEC, okay? Because that content is illegal, okay? And you as a service provider have to send it to them. If you do not send it to them, you literally have liability because now you have CSAM, or other abuse material on your servers. So that's how you remove your liability, by sending it to them. But nothing that you're saying right now has anything to do with the fact we're talking about the person themselves that was in this conversation, or a rogue employee could go and leak these fucking messages. All of these things are absolutely possible, and all I'm saying is it feels like that's the most likely explanation for why the doc was so retarded with the responses, is that he thinks that that's coming.
Question for you, Slasher. Do you think like the people who have access to these logs is a very insular team? Like
Yes,
very small?
extremely tiny.
Okay.
Extremely tiny for all the logs. You can't like Twitch can't just read logs.
Yeah.
But they can, right?
Well, hold on. They could, but I'm sure there should be very strict within company policies that make it very difficult to do it. Now that would I don't think that'd be a legal
Amazon
thing.
has
but-
company-wide policies for this that are very strict and very.
Twitter and
controlled.
Facebook can't read your DMs, okay?
Hold on,
Twitter,
wait, chill,
Facebook,
wait, stop. When you use the word can't, okay, they can, but policy probably makes it so they aren't allowed to, okay? And it's probably restrictive in terms of who has access to them, but they absolutely can, okay? They just have policies against it. And if they subpoena you, they absolutely will turn that over to the FBI or whatever. Like if somebody comes with a subpoena, they will turn it over, okay? So
But
they're
that's
accessible. They just probably don't, yeah.
That's a very big distinction, the subpoena aspect in this, okay? And you need to really meet a high bar to be able to get a subpoena to get information.
I think that you listen. First off, Twitch isn't like, I understand that it's owned by Amazon, okay? But Twitch, this is 2020 when this happened. Is that right? Doc's initial shit. You know, that's like what, like 5 years into the integration of Twitch for Amazon. I'm not sure that they have the full audit trail of everything going on there. I think that if you're like a fucking pretty decent systems administrator, or you're like just the guy that's working on the trust and safety team, I'm pretty sure you could exfil that data and no one could know that you could do it.
Hold on, wait. If you're talking about, first of all, this was 2004, you'd be right for probably every single company. But today, if you're working for a major company, I would be shocked unless there was a huge error or a huge fuck up or some zero day on some fucking, router or box or some service number. Generally, I would be very surprised if like anybody in a major tech company could just access whatever they wanted and just like dump a database somewhere. Like, oh shit, I could just do this.
I'm not saying dump a database anywhere. I'm saying someone on the safety team that had access to this data, and as they're looking at it on their computer, could literally take a fucking photo with their phone. Okay.
Sure, but I'm sure who even has access to that particular data is probably very heavily restricted.
Yes, not only is it very heavily restricted, but there is like people can see who accesses it and when. You know what I mean?
Which is why I said the Twitch safety team would be a former employee that had access to it.
I know, but what I'm saying is, it can, by the security team, everyone can see who is logging in and what they're doing, and there's very likely it could be told if there was a screenshot that was taken.
From your phone?
I am saying,
Twitch would have a list of like people who could possibly access that information.
It's very
You could run down those pages.
Yeah, not only is there a very strong chance that that person is definitely going to get sued and have their life turned over. What do you think would happen if such a source were to leak this information? It would hurt the potential investigation by law enforcement.
Wait, why?
Would you want to? Because whatever potential investigation that law enforcement would be doing on a case, there's definitely a possibility.
You know what,
that
Slasher?
it could be-
We'll put my retard against your fucking journalism degree. I'll bet you $500 that the logs leaked before the end of the year.
Okay, look, I will take that bet.
All right, we're on.
How much were you betting?
$500. And that considers a portion of the logs leaking. Okay, I'm not saying the whole thing has to.
More. No,
What?
more.
Oh, what?
For the bet.
That.
I wanted more money. Raise it.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's do $1,000 and I'll hold it.
Not enough. Not enough.
Oh,
You're just
I
trying
feel
to
like
raise it.
you're
No,
trying to make it a.
No, I'm so confident.
I'm gonna do this bet.
You deserve
Hold
like you deserve like 2 or 3 to 1 odds, or even like 10 to 1 odds. But if you just want to go straight up, we're fucking. Let's just go. Let's go to like 10K or something.
Bro, Slasher went from like a humble journalist just trying to make it to now like big digging in the bet.
I feel like he's trying
Cover
to.
10 to 1 odds at 10K.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait. So who gets the odds in this case? Is that
No,
me,
you
Dan?
should, but you're too stupid to fucking understand what is happening. So no, it's just straight up.
Okay, listen, I don't think you have $10,000, but if you do, I'll happy to escrow that with him. I'll do $1,000 also.
Okay.
But this is an escrow.
Well, for you to insult my personal... you don't know fucking anything about me, Dan.
What? I'm not saying anything about it. I'm betting that the logs will leak, and you're calling me retarded, saying that it's not possible.
It's so absurd. I actually can't even believe it.
We'll say it's 10K, and I'll DM you both privately. Okay.
You want to do it, Slasher?
All right. Did you guys see the tweet from a guy named Relum who said he worked there? He had access to most of the data information.
All I've been told about that guy from multiple trusted sources that are within an X-Twitch is that he should not really be trusted.
Okay, he's just yapping. Gotcha.
There are many Twitch and X-Twitch employees that are not happy with him right now. No, it does not seem like he is a very reliable person.
But hold up, did he work in the
I've not spoken to him. I do not know anything. I don't know.
Okay, Destiny, did you see this guy's tweet?
Show me which tweet?
I'm gonna give it to you so you can read it.
Okay.
It's yours.
Just real quick, Slasher, I don't know if you heard Abba's question. He said, did this guy work in trust and safety? Can you confirm that for us? That he worked in trust and safety?
But just go read the piece.
Okay, so you can't confirm or deny that Relum worked in
Read-
trust and safety?
Oh, I don't know anything about Realm.
Okay, all right.
I honestly, I don't know his Twitch background, honestly. I've just been told multiple times, do not fucking listen to this guy.
Okay, but I think Abba has the point that if he's from trust and safety, he worked there, then I would probably want to read through stuff with, taking it with a grain of salt. But
Yeah, no, I
want to read through some of the statements.
I cannot personally say anything about him, though I did just get a funny text about him. I can't say one way or the other than I've just been warned multiple times without me even having to prompt anything. I've just been messing
Oh,
with
this is
my-
the guy that I retweeted, and I says he's gonna say something, but doesn't say anything at all. This guy. Oh, I don't know.
multiple ex and current employees reached out and be like, specifically, this guy, do not listen to. But I don't have any personal reason not to. I can't say anything myself about why you shouldn't or should.
Yeah.
But I trust the people reaching out. I trust them more than I trust this guy. So I'm leaning that way.
Wow.
Did we put to bed that fake email that came out? The one to
No, it is not real.
commentary guy?
It is not real.
Yeah.
What about the trans sex worker thing with Doc? Is that real?
Cannot confirm. I don't see any reason to think that she made all that up, but I haven't spoken to her. I don't know.
I mean, it looked real. There was a recording. And by the way, Slasher, I realize now, as someone tells me that I autistically speak autistically sometimes, this is not me trying to fight you. I was just trying to come up with any way possible to understand why Doc would do what he's doing. And the only thing that clicks in my mind is he thinks that the release of the logs is imminent and he's trying to get in front of it. That's where that's coming from.
Well, no, the Bloomberg report came out. And as much as you want to say that, like, it didn't have additional information and that journalists don't matter and that who fucking cares, that is like a real publication with real lawyers who means they really vetted it, and that requires a response. There was no, and not only was it that, but everybody, all, Nick and Tim did the video before he made his tweet. There were a lot of people that had already responded to the reporting that I think at that point it was inevitable he had to already say something. He probably was in panic mode. I don't think it was because I think there was 0% of him that thought that, quote unquote, the logs would come out. I think it was just because of what was actually unfolding.
Well, I'm trying to say about what data has actually been released here. All that's been released is basically people saying,
God damn it, Dan. The main
I
point.
can't even speculate without you going nuts. I just said all that's been released is that Doc was banned for sexting with a minor.
Because you sound like I feel like every person on the internet, and it is very frustrating. It's basically, if you don't trust journalists and you don't give a shit about their reporting, then obviously you're going to have all these questions, and they're always going to remain unanswered, and you're always going to be annoyed that you don't have this piece of info or this piece of info, and you think this is kind of weird and odd. And I agree, there are certain contexts to this case that can be questioned. But if you trust journalists and their reporting
I do.
and their sourcing, then at this point, the whole thing is relatively clear. It's not that you have most of the facts from it, and it's relatively easy, I think, to put together, in my opinion. If it's only based on if you trust certain reporting.
I have no idea. Did you not hear what I'm saying? I said, wow, I'm like so... I do trust journalists. Okay, first of all, I'm just trying to understand why the doc went full retard. Okay, because the journalists that I do trust, okay, like yourself, that wrote this story, but all they've said is that he was banned for texting with a minor. That's it. That's like so. I feel like the doc could have said 1,000 things that would have been better to say than what he said. He said the worst thing ever. There has to be a reason that he's like, of all the things I could say.
I think he just went to panic mode. I mean, I don't have any insight. I don't think it was because he was afraid of more. The Bloomberg, I think what I'm trying to tell you is you're undervaluing how much the impact the Bloomberg article report had. I'm telling you
that just knows the document is out there. He's worried about the trust and safety report coming out. That's what he's worried about. That will characterize the message.
I think the Bloomberg report from a 1 to 10 has got to be like a 9.5 on the I am fucked, and that is what made him panic. Again, no, but I really don't think it is a looking forward more. I mean, look, I cannot say that there's not more. I cannot say that there's not more about maybe other cases or other potential situations, and that there might be even more to this specific case, so that is possible. But I really think it was an instinctive reaction to the Bloomberg report, and then people reacting to the Bloomberg report, personally.
When was the Bloomberg report compared to Doc's?
The Bloomberg report is what started everything. It was
that
on
morning. That morning. So it was the morning around noon. Doc tweeted his final big write-up tweet.
The full retardation one, right? Okay.
Yeah. The Bloomberg report preceded the eventual.
I could imagine being the doc, and you're getting a call from Bloomberg being like, "Hi, I'm a journalist at Bloomberg, and I'm writing a story about how you were texting minors, and we have sources on record now, and I just wanted to get your comment." I could imagine him being like, fuck, they have a paper trail, they have actual evidence, they're gonna release a lot of shit, I have to get ahead of this. That's what I would be thinking. That's why I went back to the thing. I think the doc was fearful that something was gonna get leaked, the logs, or an internal report, or something saying so Doc was here talking with a 13-year-old, said multiple times, I love that 13-year-old butthole or whatever it is, and that's what he was afraid of. Because up until then, and even with the article, it's just not that,
I can't believe that's what you think would happen, or even you think that he thinks that is what. I don't know.
Well, I think Doc is more like me. In the retardation part, sorry, apparently. Gotta be careful with that one. Oops.
Sorry, I walked away. Dan's 100% correct. There's no reason the doc to come out and say, yeah, I was inappropriate with a minor, unless he knew something was coming out.
Yeah.
Knew for a fact. hey, 10 people have this document.
He's trying to get ahead of it. That's it. That's the only way you do this. It's the only way if you're trying to get ahead of it.
Bloomberg had to give him 12 to 24 hours to time to make a comment. So he knew he was given contact beforehand asking for comment. I'll also say that he had the same thing from me. I filed, my report came out on Thursday afternoon. He was asked for a comment on Wednesday afternoon. I never heard back. There was no response for comment, but there was indication to him that there will be something coming, and that the questions given to him were in the reporting. So he does have forewarning that a report is going to be coming because he is asked for comment. Every person and or entity, you know, in these reports that have come out were asked for comment. Most of them just did not respond to comment. Twitch did not respond to comment. Dr. Respect did not respond to comment. YouTube did not respond to comment. Like the comment that I got on record was from the ex-head of Twitch, of YouTube gaming. Like current YouTube, which I asked for comment based on his statement, did not reply. So that's actually pretty standard. You reach out to a bunch of people to ask if you have any comment, and most of them won't even say no, they just won't even answer. But they do have forewarning beforehand to at least try to craft something, which should actually be even worse, because if you think that Doc had forewarning the Bloomberg article was coming, that he would have had a better tweet than what happened.
He was probably assuming that something crazy was going to be in the article. Like Doc knows what's in those DMs, right? It must be something fucking wild. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I mean, I think that actually goes without saying. He was fucking banned from Twitch. It must be fucking crazy. It's not like gonna be like some minor faux pas, like, oh, haha, you're 17, lol, can't wait. Like, it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be some fucking crazy shit.
Well, we don't actually know that, right? Because we can imagine worlds where if it was absolutely fucking crazy. If it was too crazy, would the parents of the child be okay with no statement being made, with no charges being filed, no settlement? It might be the case that, like, because if it was, maybe you would expect a no, then it absolutely would have leaked. Like, somebody would have said something, or the parents would have made a statement about it, right? Or there would have been an arrest.
Or there was a settlement also with the parents.
Those are possibilities.
All of those are possible, yeah, but I'm saying we don't know the answer to that, right?
Yes. Possibilities. Still unclear on what the detailed agreement is. And look, I don't want to make it seem like I'm joking about... I really have, you know, as the years have gone by and I've been beaten down by the entire internet and every single personality calling me a liar. And then, you know, just a cloud chaser and all that. You know, I even here and then made a joke about, like, this situation because it's like a coping mechanism on how much, like, but I understand that should not be done. It really is a serious situation. It's not intended for there to be comedic value.
What do you think about the CEO's comments about it then?
Dan?
Yeah.
That I thought was in very poor taste, especially to do it with Mizkif. I thought that was kind of unbelievable.
What do you think about Cody's comments, like joking about getting rid of, leaking it if his band?
Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong, and him tagging me, also not a good look on me. I can take full responsibility. That is not... I should not be doing that. Cody should not be doing that. And then for the situation to evolve like this, with Cody doing that, it is a very bad look. Cody...
It looks like shit, by the way.
It was a joke, but again, no, jokes should not have been made in, you know, now that information has come to light. No, it is not a responsible thing to do. So I was wrong to do that. I can own that. And it should be taken more seriously than internet jokes. I mean, there's a lot of this entire thing because of it was so hidden where, you know, anyone who's not directly involved, they don't know. And, like, making jokes about it is pretty easy. There's, like, a million different things that you could make fun of. But, you know, I shouldn't be doing it. I don't want it to seem like I take happiness in all of this. I feel vindicated somewhat that I can clear my name to some people who... There's still people out there that either still think I fucking lied and or I covered for Dr. Disrespect. Both of which are not true. They're not going to be convinced, most likely. But for some, they will be able to trust me again. People hate me for fucking totally unrelated reasons. I mean, whatever. That's all good. But I do feel somewhat vindicated. But I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm happy about this entire story, which is... I mean, it's awful. None of this is good. I didn't find...
Well, him getting caught is good.
I didn't find glee in, you know, this entire saga. It was not fun.
It's good for him getting caught, right?
Yes. Even though I have no idea how this will affect his career going forward. It seems
I'm pretty sure for 2 reasons his career is over. Number 1, all of his friends are like the super hate trans, hate gay people, all that type of shit. And there's fucking DMs now of Doc jerking off with a fucking trans sex worker. So it's over on that front, and it's over on the front that they're not too kind also with the whole pedophile thing also, or a pedophile.
You just said he was gripping it, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
was
that's like the new
Yeah, I mean,
squeezing the
let's
hog.
chill.
Listen, Twitch, or sorry,
shit.
Fuck is done, and not just on YouTube. Okay, he's done. He's actually done.
I mean, him getting demonetized and having some subscriptions removed is pretty significant, I will say. But who's to say, you know, he can't go to Kick or Rumble and become a rebel and like
There's no fucking shot.
and go on an arc that makes him like the Joker, Dr. Disrespect, and he gets like 4 times.
Rumble and Kick are done with being the platforms for pedophiles. They're both done. That's never happening.
Yeah, he's for sure donezo at this point. And also, Slasher, I want to say, I feel like sometimes when you're on the inside looking in, okay, which is what you are, you're on the inside looking in, you assume the worst about people's intents towards you. And I just want to say that, like, people, I don't think, you keep saying this, people assume that you were lying, that you didn't know anything like that.
I've been told so many times. I cannot describe to you how many times I have been lying to the
all of us, myself included.
This liar piece of shit is like hundreds of thousands of times.
No,
I'm not
we
imagining
were
it.
just saying that because we wanted to know. Okay?
I'm not
You-
imagining it. Yeah, you two are just joking. That's fine.
No,
But all the
everyone
people that
else too.
are-
We said that.
no,
You tell
no.
tell us why he was banned. Tell us. That's why. Like they didn't think you had fake info. That would be insane. It's just
No,
they're
I-
fucking pissed because
Yes,
I want to know.
they do.
Why
Yes,
stop
they
banned?
do.
Why? Tell me.
So much of my pain was self-inflicted, and again, my fucking fault, my bad. Don't make those tweets. Please learn from me. If you have information, don't just say you do it. Either do the reporting or shut the fuck up. Those are your 2 options. I understand it was self-inflicted, but it's not like I'm imagining it.
No.
man.
There was a third option here, Rod. There was
Become
a third option,
Snowden.
absolutely.
Become
And that
Assange.
was becoming anonymous and leaking this stuff, like basically making it an anonymous paste bin, saying, "Here's the stuff I've been told," and then you yourself retweeting it and being like,
Yeah.
that's weird." There's absolutely a third path here that you haven't acknowledged.
The
And to
WikiLeaks
me,
strategy.
I would want to know why exactly I don't know how exactly you get away from the idea that you wanted the clout from this, and that's why you didn't leak it.
No, he obviously didn't. He didn't do it.
No. I'm saying anonymously. Like, Doc objectively went to another platform, made millions of dollars, still had a massive public profile after doing all of this. And Slasher knew about it, so I'm saying I totally trust that you knew about it. How exactly did you get away from the idea that you covered for him? You could have just published this anonymously.
That's a little rough. I to be too sweet for Slasher.
I'm saying hypothetically.
It's a scary situation. I can imagine being
Sure.
in that place. Like, even look at me on the podcast 2 months ago. Me like, oh, what I heard in Rust from a guy buying a mini at Outpost. Like, you know, even I'm thinking like, okay, what's really actually likely to have happen in this situation right here? So I can understand that he had fear. Like, okay, I'm about to fuck with a guy that's worth like tens of millions of dollars. How dangerous is this for me?
Don't forget Amazon.
Yeah.
Don't. You say it's just Amazon. No, bro. Fucking Amazon.
So I understand that.
Scary Amazon.
Right. I understand all this is like it's like a real. So that's that. You can't just say, oh, he did it for clout or didn't do it for clout. Now, to be clear, I do agree with you. I think that you should have become Assange or Snowden and become like the fucking you're a Greenwald or someone and been like the dude who fucking broke the rules and leaked it anyways. And it, you know, Amazon suing you would have been the best thing in the world. What could you have actually lost? You know what I mean? Like your house was
The
homesteaded.
things with, like Assange, Assange and Snowden were able to do that because they had documents. That was really what allowed them to do certain things without having documents, which did not exist really until 5 days ago. It becomes so. It really is so difficult.
Sure. I'm just arguing, and I'm not trying to actually say you did this. I'm saying there are people who think this, right? Who think that, like, hey, you covered for this guy. I'm saying to put to bed those rumors, those thoughts, like, why exactly did you decide not to go the anonymous route at all?
It didn't feel right. Shouldn't be doing that. Either I can report it myself, professionally, or I'm just going to shut the fuck up.
Can I ask you a question on this thing? So let's say I give you firsthand information about Destiny. Okay, and I show you stuff, but I don't let you make a copy. But you know now this is legit shit. So I show you a video of Destiny stomping on puppies, and it's like the most fucked up shit you've ever seen. But you know this is legit. Like, you can't deep fake what I just showed you. You're throwing up. It's so fucking unbelievably fucked. And he's sitting there saying, "Yeah, look, dogs. It doesn't matter. I eat them for meat. Why would I care about them here?" Like, the whole thing. It's real. I've shown you this. I'm obviously a good friend of Destiny, the whole thing, but I'm like, listen, I can't give you a copy of this. He knows I'm the only one who has a copy. I don't even know why he sent it to me. Are you going to report on it?
No.
Really? Oh, I'd report that.
I need the copy of it.
If you know. Well,
Nope.
no.
Nope.
Yeah,
I need
like
the copy
the
of it.
hypothetical here isn't really even that hypothetical. This guy has gone and targeted a minor and said, yeah, I don't care that you're 16, 17, whatever the age was. He said, no, that's fine. I'm gonna keep making sexual comments. He has this pattern set up. Like, how? I don't understand. Is there no moral imperative here for you at all? That you need to make sure that this guy doesn't continue to go on and victimize more people?
There is, but you know, Twitch is doing their own investigation. It's not for me to. The only person who should be, if they ever want to speak, is the victim.
No. I'm sorry, this is the most broken mindset in my opinion. Okay? Victims have a duty to report stuff like this. People have a duty to actually make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. This is like, it's so brain dead, in my opinion, to go, oh, well, we have to defend the victim. That's our number one priority. No, my number one priority is making sure more victims don't happen. We can't unrape that fucking person, okay?
So as a real, I'm
sexualize that person.
Yeah, hold on real quick. I'm sympathetic towards this, and it works in almost all cases except the issue. issue is you run into one huge part at the beginning of the reporting process, and that's that the goal should be to reduce future harm to minors. So if somebody reports something, then you should say like, oh shit, well, we need to do this even if they don't want to come forward. But then the issue might be that when somebody wants to report something in the future, they're like, fuck, like I'd report on this guy, but like I don't want any of my shit public. Like I'm just not going to report it. It's not worth the deal. I
A
think that's the
reporter's
issue.
duty is to the news always. That's true. Isn't there like even the thing with reporters that like, you know, like they have advanced knowledge of something going on, but they're embedded with a group? Like this kind of happened with Hamas, didn't it? During the October 7th thing?
If you advance knowledge of a crime, I believe you have to inform on the crime. But it's not like I had advanced knowledge of the information. There was already an investigation happening prior to the information.
So, can I ask?
and
Did
by
you
the
have
way,
some
nature
plan to release
photographer-
this overall?
If you're a nature
Okay.
photographer, are you supposed to stop the polar bear from killing the penguin?
No, but that's
think
boring.
no.
For most people like Nat Geo and shit, you're literally never supposed to interact with the animals, but these are animals. It's
Yeah.
different. Also, there's a distinction, like if you have knowledge of a crime, I don't believe you have an obligation for reporting, but if you have knowledge of a crime that is going to be committed, then you do have an obligation. So if Slasher got DM saying like, Doc's gonna go meet this girl at like fucking 4 p.m. blah blah blah, I think Slasher would have an obligation to say
Wait,
something.
that can't be true, because hasn't there been like vice journalists and shit like that literally get embedded and they're like, okay, we're going into the rainforest to learn how to make coke? Like that would never.
Yeah,
that's a crime that they're literally going to watch and make happen.
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows Coke is getting made in Colombia.
Or you understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying that like obviously that can't be
Kinda.
it's not possible that that's the standard. If that
I
was the
think
case-
I think in different countries and when it comes to like cocaine or like international affairs, it might be different. But like I can't think of a single example in the United States. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I can think of an single example in
the
the United
Kia
States.
Boys, they did an interview with the Kia Boys and they were there when they stole cars. That was a recent one. I've seen that.
Where what?
Where they watched them, they're like, this is how they're doing it.
Oh, for stuff like that, maybe, yeah. But when it comes to things like rape or murder, I think that there's like an obligation for like a certain level of crimes that you have to report that. Like, I can't think of an example of a journalist who's like, okay, well, today we're going to follow this gang. Like, they said they're going to go and kill this guy. We're going to go and report on this. I don't think you're allowed to just do that and then do a report. I think you have an obligation to report there.
Look, I have a better question for you. Because I think so much of the discussion is on Twitch, and I have reported that Twitch did report this to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. Why not?
You have that on record?
Yes. Why not request?
That's a big deal.
Why
That
not?
is a big deal.
Why not request that they have released information, or why not request that law enforcement through this entire time, which then very likely, at the behest of MC and MEC, to do something, have say something.
Hold on.
That
This
is
this
potential.
we're about to make a clip for Livestream Fail, Slasher, okay? What you're telling me, okay, is that what Doc did, okay, rose to the level that, for a fact, Twitch was forced to make a report to the National Center for Missing and Exploiting Children.
DSCA and CSAM report.
What I'm asking is that Twitch did make that report to the
Perhaps
National
I should
Center for
feel
Missing and
some
Exploiting
twinge
Children.
of guilt at all I
Yes,
have done.
all
but
of
I've
them
had
go
little
there.
time for
Yes.
scruples.
Okay, and they did that for
It was
Dr.
once an honor
Disrespect
to be
right now.
entombed within these
Yeah.
ancient catacombs.
At the
Wow.
But
when it was
centuries
initially
have
reported,
passed,
all
and
reports
now
with
only the
CSCA or
brave
CSAM
or foolhardy
reported
walk these
Okay.
tunnels.
National Center of Missing and Exploited Children.
Perhaps I'm the last living
So,
soul here.
There is a report
Although
on
I'm
Dr.
far from
Disrespect at
alone.
the National
Now,
Center.
the
This
legal
is not
process
my
after,
story,
again,
Although I
no
am
court
the
records have been
architect of
found.
what transpires.
I've never been able to get law enforcement
A
to comment
conspirator
or
in the
even
ruination
acknowledge that
that
a thing
threatens the
exists.
heretic kingdoms.
Do not have details
And the
on.
most unlikely
where it
alliances
went
that
after.
might yet save us all.
All right.
Just to be clear, though, those are just reports, right? So, like, for instance, if I think that Forethought has been engaged in bad behavior in my subreddit, like, if I would make that report to them. They would have that report filed. That doesn't mean it's just a report,
I would
right?
be-
Well,
But we have our
NICMIC
own-
automatically works with all law enforcement organizations.
Sure, I'm just saying that, like, a report is just a
With
report. It
minors.
doesn't necessarily mean that, like, something happened. It just means somebody felt like they had an obligation to make that report, right?
Yeah, well, Twitch is obligated to make that report.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me reiterate for the fourth time. I'm just saying that just because a report has been made doesn't mean a crime has been committed. It just
No,
means somebody
but
felt like
there-
they need to make a report. That's what I'm just
But investigation will happen.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
We'll leave that part out for the clip.
I'm telling you, Dan, Destiny's chat still thinks I'm full of shit. This entire
They don't think you're full of shit.
I
They wanted you to become Assange. Do you not understand? You were the
nothing that
chosen one, but you
I'm
backed into the
telling you.
shadows.
Everything that I'm explaining, they definitely think I'm full of shit. I guarantee you. I love you, man, but I'm not.
No,
Slasher, can I ask you where that reporting is? I don't see it in the Rolling Stone article. I don't see it in the Bloomberg article.
Where what reporting
That
is?
the report was made to the National Agency for Missing and Exploited Children. Or
I
whatever.
can say that it is being edited in as we speak.
Okay, so is that new information dropping here?
No, it was information which was included and then removed from the edit, and then published, and then actually today having a lot of discussion about re-including it with the source so it can be included.
Well, it is dropping here first.
It is true. Yes.
That is. Listen, I will say.
I'm told by an authorized source that yes, he was reported to
US
NCMEC, and that all
Don't waste it,
reports
you can-
with CSEA and CSAM are reported to NCMEC.
I mean, that takes a lot of. That's a lot of
Choose
air
area
out of the wiggle room
if you wish.
that
I think that's
the doc
very
has
major,
right now.
Wait, a lot of air out of the wiggle room for
Did
what?
you know that this,
I know not.
Wait, what do
in
you?
terms of what the conduct actually was?
Well, it rose to the level that people that for a living interact with NICMAC, okay,
Soul is mine.
decided that it fit the criteria of submitting it. That's what it meant.
Yes.
That means
This
that
cannot be.
that means that trained
My-
Can
people
you
viewed Doc's conversation and determined that it contained either child sexual abuse material or pornographic images directly. That's what it means. That trained people saw this and determined that that was the case
Train people like people at Twitch or?
at Twitch. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like mandatory reporters. How it works is that when you run a tech company, well, I mean, really, when you run any company that deals with user-generated content, you would be fucked if like a user submitted like child porn or something to your stream. You would be fucked, right?
Yeah, but like
the way
everything that
you-
you've just said, like Dr. Disrespect already said, essentially this.
What? I'm sorry. Said what? Did Dr.
That he had
Disrespect?
conversations with a minor and some of them
Oh,
might
I'm
have.
sorry. I didn't know that if you talk with a minor that you get reported to NICMAC. That's cool.
If you,
Oh,
if
hold
you
on.
have-
Wait, shut the fuck up, Slasher. My bad. Dan had a sundowning moment where apparently he didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that I was like in the middle of a fucking sentence. He
Okay.
said on Twitter that he had conversations with a minor and some of them went too far or might have veered into inappropriate territory. That would be enough, my guess is, for a report to NICMAC or whatever.
Okay, you're wrong.
See,
Really? Why?
No, Dan, Destiny is correct.
Oh,
I don't know
Sexually-
what you're telling me.
sexually-
You fucking retards. I'm the only one who's
Oh,
actually...
here's the tiny
No,
chat
we're
boy.
tiny.
Here it goes. Here it
Yeah,
comes.
I've actually done it and been through the fucking training because I ran a company that dealt with them and did reports with it. So you guys are both fucking retarded, okay? I have Destiny over here trying to be like, well, actually, it's this way. And Slasher, who's probably doesn't even know how these things are reported, okay? It's not done through that, first off.
Okay, go
There's
ahead.
a
Tell us
special
what you
portal.
just Googled, Dan. Go ahead.
My God, there's a special portal directly for internet service providers to do this. It's different than what the public gets access to. Okay. And it has to fit a very strict criteria of what you're doing. Okay. If you go on Discord and send a message to Mr. Mitten 3 years ago and say, lick my balls, guess what? You're not getting reported to fucking NICMAC, are you?
Wait, where's this criteria listed?
It's on the site. I don't have access anymore.
The actions that Dr. Respect was
Serious.
involved in are considered child exploitation and abuse.
There you go. That's what it is. Yes, that's it. So you understand what that the difference between that and you telling Mr. Mutin to suck your balls when he was a minor, and why those two things are not the same?
I never said
And-
they were the same.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that a trained person at Twitch whose job is to analyze this stuff, determined that, you know, again, based on what's being said here, determined that this rose to the level of child sexual abuse material. That's all. It's saying that it rose to that level. It wasn't something like, oh, it went a little bit too far. We were just JKing or joshing around.
Well, hold on. No, went a little bit too far can literally meet that criteria. Yes. Which is exactly what Doc tweeted. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
you
Well, I
saying
mean,
a little
if
bit
you're-
too
if you're
far is
sleeping
ambiguous.
for Doc.
I mean, my reporting specifically says it was explicit after it was indicated that what the ex-Twitch employee says, who viewed the whispers, after Doc was indicated that the victim was a minor, the explicit messages continued with the hope to meet up at TwitchCon. And that is considered CSCA sexual abuse.
Yeah. So quoting from Doc's thing, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Yeah, that sounds like it would hit the threshold every time. If you, here's the, like, as a general rule of thumb, if you ever have to clarify your intentions around a message to a minor to like make people understand that they weren't sexual, you're probably in spooky territory. If you were to say like, whoa, my intentions here weren't, like, you probably needed, like, yeah, that my guess is almost anything that would be spoken about in this manner is going to hit the threshold for being reported.
Pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover any storm damage.
What happened constitutes CSCA, all CSCA, and CSAM is sent to NECMEC. I could also say, viewing the document, which is the actual report, that's what the document confirms.
Since when am I the captain? We took the loan together. You both have to pay the mortgage.
So just to reiterate, the doc confirmed
Hey, here's something.
child sexual abuse.
You feel like analyzing some scan data?
Alleged
That's what we're here
perpetrator,
for? Scan away.
according to Twitch.
Just a basic composite of silicate. No
I have
energy
another
needing to
question
speak
for
of.
Rod.
So,
We're
we
stalling
can't
here.
sell it?
Did you know this
Not
in
unless we
2020
find
that
a
they
million of
reported
them.
it, or did they only report it recently? Do you know when they reported it precisely?
The victim reported during 2020. The whispers are from 2017.
Wait. The victim reported to Twitch, or the victim reported to the National Center? I don't know the acronym.
Okay,
Whatever
it
is for
was
missing children.
reported in 2020. It was reported in 2020
Wait, to Twitch or the center?
to Twitch.
And-
Twitch gets a
Okay.
report, then Twitch does an investigation, then Twitch sends it to NECMEC.
Okay, I think that's new information as well, that it was the victim themselves that reported it.
Well,
Nope.
that's been out there.
That's been out there, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, was that out there? Okay, I knew it was reported, but...
It was reported by Cecilia. It was reported only in 2020, while all the other sexual misconduct stuff was coming out by Twitch, and then the whispers are from several years
There's some
before.
stuff down here causing interference. Come
Yes,
take a look.
2017.
What in the world?
Yes.
Okay, and just as far as your knowledge went, you were
A
unaware of
blob
these
of
reports and the forwarding on to that National Center
that's
for
an apt
like
name
CSAM
for
material.
it. Can you
Well, no,
scan
I
it
mean,
without getting too close?
in 2020, several days after,
like
I did
snot.
have
It
a
is, I don't
message
want to
with a trust and safety employee at the time who could view the report
Seems to be some
and
sort of
see
organic compound.
CSCA,
Luckily, I
CSAM
don't think it's
you
snot.
know,
Think you can use your glove to
listed,
clean
but
it up?
there was nothing,
All
no
right,
way
what do you say,
to.
Pumpkin? Can we clean it up?
We weren't willing to take a screenshot and give it to her.
Yeah, no way to. Yeah, I can't. Yes, I can't just. No, yeah, it's not a thing that is usable. So, no. Again, this document did not leak out. Still anonymous. Not sure where it came from within
It's beautiful.
Twitch, but that only came out a
Interesting is
couple of
what
days
it
ago.
is. Give me
It
that data.
probably will not be shown. I'm not going to publish it. It should not be published by other people.
You sure you didn't
So
get
you're not even going to
super
get
glue in the
that
scanner?
either. honestly.
100%. Why?
The pattern kind of looks like the signal
Which
we
is at
got before.
14,508 reports of
The reading is right?
this shit.
This stuff's got some
in
energy
Not a,
potential.
2022.
not a good look for
For
Twitch.
real?
Keep your head screwed on.
Not a good look for Twitch
Troubles not much
streamers.
to write home about.
Well,
But if we can
I
find
think
a
if it
bigger
rises to that level, you
deposit,
have to announce that with the
I
ban.
think we should
That's
look
why.
at it.
That's why
You can let
Destiny's.
us
Wait,
know.
Destiny's
light the
not
way.
a Twitch streamer because he can't condone that type of behavior. What does it say on there for Kick, by the way? Destiny?
2022.
Well, given that it's 2022.
No, that's fine. So there's nothing listed. Yeah. So he's on the non-child exploitative site. I know some streams. This is bad. Twitch, 14,000 reports of child porn. That's fucking wild.
Maybe I was banned from Twitch for not being enough of a pedophile.
Apparently.
Not
Holy
getting through
shit.
here.
That's why Hassan talks about
More
it so
gunk on the
much.
other side of these nasty vines.
Wow, Twitch has 10 times 4chan. Well, yeah, but who would? Your what type of reporting infrastructure do you think that 4chan actually has? Well. Yep.
Alright, good talk, guys.
If we find more of that substance,
I-
our 40s might be over.
I hope it was a good
I could
talk.
get a garden of my own
Sasha,
back
you're
home.
fine, man. You
What
need
would you
to
do?
listen.
Pay our bills?
Back to basics.
after
Okay.
that.
Get a little bit frisky.
I know.
Okay. That's all. That's my advice.
I don't dream
for
big
life.
until
Get a
I
little
know
bit
it's
frisky.
within my
Okay.
reach.
A dream.
Play fast and loose with the
Bex,
rules.
is
Make a
something
name
that's
for yourself. Get out
of
there.
our reach.
Hit the streets. Be
Otherwise,
like, what's the
it's
name of
called an
that
option.
fucking reporter from The Wire who was working with McNulty? Come on, Destiny. What's the name of that guy?
Of the Wire, I don't.
Season 4.
Yeah, the dude with the homeless people. What's the name of that dude? Oh man.
The one that was making up stories?
Yes, that guy. You need to become him. He made a name for himself. His editor was like, "Listen, bro, why are these people not? Why you not have names?" Like, they didn't want to be named. All right. It wasn't Bubbles, you fucking morons. Jesus. Oh my god.
Oh no, Bubbles was the homeless crack guy.
Yeah, exactly. This was the fucking white dude, and then McNulty was like, "I know you're full of shit, cause I'm full of shit." That's what we have to do,
Whoa.
Slasher.
Okay,
Okay.
that is some great life
Yeah.
advice. Thank you. I will.
Just become your inner Assange. You know what I mean? Don't play it safe. You
Pretty
got
sure
one life to
people
live.
already think I'm that guy.
What
So
guy?
what you're saying is the
There's
guy
no
that makes shit up
mistakes
all
over
the
these
time.
clips.
You're saying that
No,
I could be the guy I should
Anything
be.
for my captain.
They
I'm
think
telling
that
you that
they
most
think you're a pussy. Not that you make things up. That's why you have to change it. You already have the credibility. Now you just need to become a GigaChat. That's it. Fuck the rules.
I appreciate the confidence, Dan. I really do.
This place seems like it's
I
big enough
really
for the
thank you.
bunny, right?
I'm literally speaking
Yeah,
for the people.
but I can't
Like, if
take
you
her
think
down
that I'm
until that
like
gun's
saying
gone.
something that's
Gotta
untrue
clean it up.
for the public,
Oh yeah.
then you're
It'll be
misinterpreting
our
the public.
pleasure.
No, I usually have a pretty good read on how many people don't like me and for why, unfortunately. But again, thank you, Dan. I'm gonna consider it.
All right, be a rebel. All right,
Yeah.
wild shit. You can do it on the front
I think it's
lines.
like pollution.
I know you can.
Whatever it is, it's messing with my
I'm on it.
Listen,
Hurry
I
up
will
and take
say,
it away.
for us Jewish folk, it does not come naturally.
Are
okay?
you too?
Yeah.
No wonder we're so fucking stupid. I see what the chat is saying
It
now.
is nice
Listen,
when it's
you
gone.
just,
Oh, I
you
get
just,
it.
it goes against our natural instinct to stay out of the limelight and to stay safe in the corners, okay? But you got to do it, all right? That's what I've learned in life. You got to go for fucking growth. Go wild, man. All right? It's rough in the streets, but you can fucking do it.
I feel like we've been on this whole time. I've not seen enough like Pepe Jew
Whoa!
comments in chat.
See
I think
that?
there'd be way
This
more.
is a very
What did I even
Jewish
do?
supportive-
Didn't like Destiny? Haven't you like brought in the entire Groper allegiance?
make way.
Isn't that
No,
what
you're
it is?
repeating retarded shit that you've heard from fucking Hassan that has no basis in reality.
Oh,
No.
my God.
Did you hear the stories? You're gonna report on how Hassan rapes minors in brothels in Germany when he goes overseas and he sex
Don't
tours
wander off this
for
time.
women that are destitute, that are abducted from Romania and Ukraine,
Maybe
and they
just
get
take a
shoved
look
into
at
these
his code.
brothels, and Hassan goes and he fucks them
Yesterday
with his
he ran all
socialist
of my
cock. You ever
trolls
hear
through
anything about
washing
that, or
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here? Don't nothing that if you ever hear anything about me from Hassan, it is always a
Run some
fucking lie.
diagnostics
Okay?
on somebody
I
just to
thought
be
actually
safe.
no independently
No?
like you've been able to
I
bring
was thinking
like
we could do
together
some
like
exploring
Israeli nationalists like and the
together?
Groypers together like unified.
No, the
boring
Groypers hate me. The
stuff
Groypers
you
have hated
do.
me forever. You know what the Groypers
No,
like? They like
I
Hassan
just
because
thought-
Hassan retweets their shit about me all the
No,
fucking
Ronnie,
time.
but
Like
I
I have
have
literally
to take care
videos
of this
watching
shit
Hassan on
first.
stream retweeting
Look,
fucking Nazi
I'm running a
Groyper accounts
constant
because they're
stand
shitting
for
on
the
me.
energy
It's like my
signal.
number one source
Why
of
don't
like
you remove
weird
some
internet
more
shit about
gun
me
guns, see if we
online at
pick
the
it up
moment.
again.
Is Hassan repeating
Okay,
Fuentes
if you
fan
say
attacks
so,
on me?
Cap.
No, it's fucking retarded.
I thought you
be
could get like
careful.
the black Israelites, like the Israeli nationalists, like
There's
the
like
Groypers.
first off, there's like 7 black Israelites. Total.
No, not here in New York. You know, this is their home.
Listen, there's like a few of them total. They're very, very small. I would be surprised if there was 1,000 of them.
But they're all here. They come in numbers. They're always in Times Square.
Yeah, that's what they say about us, bro.
And wherever Kyrie is, they got his back. So they were in Brooklyn for a long time. I feel like they're not going to Dallas anytime soon. But okay, I'm sorry, Steven.
You're fine. You're fine.
I love you.
I
Man.
didn't know they didn't fuck with you, or they hated you.
They really- the public perception over here. Maybe we are out of. Am I out of touch, or is it the chat that's wrong? Or
I mean, I
who the bad guys?
accidentally ran into like the Grouper headquarters here in New York City. Totally accidentally found the America's First Red Scare podcast fan club, where all of every person which tries to meet there. And I've invited Destiny to come because I felt like he'd be a good.
Because he loves them so much.